Are we ready? Yes, we're ready. I'm ready. Let's see. Who else is ready? Nobody. Nobody is in the. Oh, no. It says four. I don't know. Well, just nobody's written anything. Hey, everybody. How are you? I have missed you so much. We've missed the last 2 weeks, but we had a good reason. Honestly, had a good reason. So we were in the big city, Bogota, last week, where I actually got some of the stuff. Tom is here. Well, there's 4 people here. Tom is letting us know he's here. Miguel Rangel is here. We'll wait for some more people to come in. But anyways, welcome back. Welcome back to me, I guess, or welcome back to you. So I'm glad you could make it today. Again, always miss when I don't get to see you guys, get to talk to you guys. So I'm glad you're here. Janice is here. I'm just adjusting stuff. Every time I do a live stream, things have happened during the week and I just got to readjust stuff. Let's see, make sure you can see everything. That's good there. All right, we're good. Everything's good. No, it's not good. Hang on. No, we need to move it out that way. There we go. Perfect. How is everybody? How is everyone? Those of you in the US of A, did you do 4th of July stuff yesterday? I am in Colombia. Now, this is funny because we are, as you know, we are on Threads. And somebody on Threads posted about expats or Americans in Colombia and said, why do Americans in Colombia wonder why they're not celebrating the Independence Day? And I'm like, they don't. That doesn't happen. People who were from the United States who are in Colombia know they're in another country, which is not the United States and does not celebrate the 4th of July. So people were asking me, what are you doing for the 4th of July? I'm like, I don't know, whatever people would normally do. I'm not working, had the day off, but, just went into town, did stuff and everything. And just, it's just another day down here. And I'm not like rubbing in anyone's face that it's Independence Day in the United States, because it's not Independence Day here. I think Independence Day here is, if I'm not mistaken, July 20th. I think it's July 20th. So July 20th here represents the day that Colombia, well, it was at the time known as Nueva Granada, and that was parts of Venezuela, parts of Colombia, parts of Ecuador, and parts of Panama. And I think it started in 1810. They started a revolution to win independence from Spain. And I can't remember what year, 1814 or somewhere around there, that they finally got their independence from Spain. So July 20th is Independence Day here. And honestly, I've been here on July 20th, and it just doesn't seem to be like the big deal that it is in the United States. I mean, people shoot off fireworks and stuff, but people shoot off fireworks here all the time. The thing is like Doodle and Canelo are really good with fireworks. Some dogs, they just like hide or run or whatever. They're just like, oh, what the hell's that? We under attack? What's going on? So yeah, yesterday was Independence Day. Today is my brother Massachusetts Larry's birthday. Yeah, there's a story behind that. Today is my brother Massachusetts Larry's birthday. If you are watching Larry, and I don't know that you are, but if you are watching, happy birthday, Larry. I've already wished him a happy birthday. So today is his birthday. If it's anybody else's birthday, anytime we do one of these live streams, let me know. Let me know it's your birthday. Let me know if it's your anniversary and everything. Share that with the group, and and we will share. We will share. As a matter of fact, I'm glad I mentioned it. So let's talk about sharing. So Tom, old guy in Colorado, Raymond. We were talking the other day, and he reminded me. I didn't realize this, but he reminded me that he has reached a milestone, and Tom has reached 2,000 subscribers. So everybody, let's hear it for Tom, for old guy in Colorado reaching 2,000 subscribers. Yay! Also, Janice Yamanaka, she thought she could sneak this in without anybody seeing it. But and this has to be a while ago. She's at 7,000. I just realized that she's at 7,000, and that is an accomplishment. So Janice, when did you hit 7,000? Because we didn't know here. I don't remember you mentioning it in the chat or anything that you had hit 7,000. But any milestones that you guys have, your birthdays, anniversaries, your channel getting a certain number of subscribers, let us know. We'll share it with the group. So I was busy yapping. Who did I miss? Let's see. We got Tom. We had Jared Tierno. We have Jake James is with us. Julie is here. Who else? Let's see. Adam Hev is here. Did I miss anybody? Jared, I think I got you, Jared. So, this thing says 9. That didn't sound like 9, but, again, I'm not sure what that 9 means. It just means 9 people watching, 9 subscribers watching. I don't know what that means, but there it is. It just went up to 10. So Adam says, my bulldog hates fireworks. Found out yesterday he was running around like crazy. He wasn't like this the last 2 years. Well, that's unusual. It's unusual that they would, that a dog would be okay for 2 years and then on the 3rd year just be kind of crazy. And so a lot of dogs, I don't know if it's the same with cats, but a lot of dogs, when they hear fireworks and everything, they go crazy. And so they'll try to hide. If they're indoors, can't get out, they'll try to hide. If they're outdoors, they'll run away. And they'll try to get as far away from the sound as possible. So a lot of people kind of lose their pets when there's fireworks, if their dog is outside and everything, because the dog just wants to get away from the sound. It must be a natural, like, I don't know what occurs naturally or what naturally they fear as far as the sound. Thunder doesn't, Canelo and Doodle, thunder doesn't bother them. Thunder doesn't bother them, lightning doesn't bother them, they're fine. What bothers them, there's a place next door. They rent it out for functions and stuff. And on Sundays, they have this religious group and they come in and sing and everything. And that bothers Doodle. When a car goes up the road, that bothers Doodle. He'll bark and he'll run after the car. But yeah, lightning, thunder, fireworks, yeah, don't face them at all. Hey, Val sent you a photo on Facebook of a screenshot of a place in Colombia. I was wondering if you know it or have been to. Jake is saying now it's officially the Gong Show. Why did you do that? Next thing you know, we're gonna have Gene the dancing machine. All right, Ice Hand is here. All right, so Tom, I'm gonna check that out. Hang on one second. And I will tell you what it's a picture of and whether I have been there. I haven't been all over Colombia. There's a lot of places, like I've been to, as far as cities go, I've been to Cartagena, I've been to Medellin, I've been to Bogota, Villaleva, Ráquira, Ubaté, Zipaquirá, some of the other smaller towns and everything. I have not yet been to Cali. I'm not in a rush to go. I'm not yet been to Cali. Let's see, Tom sent me, there it is. I will tell you in a second, Tom. Oh, no. I know where that is, though. That's in Manizales, or it might not be in Manizales, but it's in the coffee growing region. And it's a place you walk up to the top and everything. We want to go. At some point in time, we will go to the coffee growing region. Well, I take that back. There's multiple coffee growing regions in Colombia. That's one of the biggest Colombian coffee growing regions. And that's a really spectacular thing where you just kind of walk up the stairs to the rock. So no, we have not been there yet, but it is on our bucket list to visit. So thanks, Tom, for the picture. Let's see. Fang has been freaking out for 3 days. Oh, with all the fireworks? Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't like them. Let's see, what else did I miss? Oh, thanks everyone. Probably reached 7,000 subs in December or January. Got a little over 7,800. And when are you going to tell us, Janice? When are we going to tell us? You got to share. So again, Tom, congrats on your 2,000. Janice, congrats on your 7,800. Sounds like pretty soon we're going to be congratulating you. Let me try that in English. It sounds like pretty soon we're going to be congratulating you on your 8,000 subs. Yeah, that's an accomplishment. So yeah, we're still stuck around 6. It goes up a little, comes down a little, stays about the same. So I think, how many do we have? We have, I'll tell you in a second. We have 6,165. So just over maybe halfway to 6,200. That's not a lot. We're okay. I'm not concerned about everything. We enjoy ourselves, and we hope you enjoy us as well. So again, thank you all for joining us. It went up to 10, so somebody else snuck in and I missed him. Ice Hand, I got you, right? I think I got you, Ice Hand, and Jake, and Janice, and Tom, and Julie, and I feel like Miss Jean. You guys don't know who Miss Jean is because you're not from the Boston area. Julie, you know who Miss Jean is. So, and on Romper Room, they had the I don't know, teacher, whatever you want to call them, and they were regional. So in each market, they had their own. So you guys can tell me, those of you who are old enough to remember Romper Room can tell me who what the name of the person was in your area. And growing up in the Boston area, it was Miss Jean. And Miss Jean, at the I think it was towards the end of the show, she would look through her magic mirror and she would say hello to everybody who had birthdays. So I see Tommy turned 5, and I see little Jimmy turned 8, and she would do this thing. And it, like, even as a kid, I'm watching this going like, there's no mirror there. She's looking through that. She's probably just reading this off a cue card, which in all likelihood she was. But it was like, I just feel like Miss Jean sometimes. Like, oh, we got Julia, we have Ice Hand, and there's Tom, old guy in Colorado. Hi, Tom. And there's Miguel. It's like, I just feel like Miss Jean. But what was your, she never said my name. Well, I think the thing is your parents had to send your name in. And like, maybe we did, maybe we didn't. And maybe there were just a lot of people that were born on the same day as you. So I don't know. I'd yell about her, but I can't. You know why? Because she's dead. I think she's dead, right, Jules? Miss Jean? Who was Miss Jean? What was her real name? No, I don't really care, but I have that obsessive curiosity where if I don't find out these things, it will kill me. I will be In and Out. Are you going to go to In and Out? No. Do they have In and Out near you, Tom? Like, is there an In and Out in Colorado now? I will be In and Out. I'm smoking a brisket, chicken, and sausage. What do you use for a wrapper on that when you smoke that? How do you keep that lit? No, I'm just kidding. That sounds delicious. Smoked brisket, chicken, and sausage. Time passes, so you have to check in on people. You do. Time waits for no one, and it won't wait for me. Anybody know that song? Anybody? Time waits for no one, and it won't wait for me. Anybody? I'm sure there's a lot of songs that have to do with time, right? Ticking away the moments that make up a dull day. Fritter and waste the hours in an offhand way. You guys know that one? I'm old. Those are old songs, from the 70s. Jean Durkee. Thanks, Jules. Jean Durkee. Yeah. So when did she die? It ended in the 70s? Oh, okay. Yes, Miguel Rangel and Ice Hand. You got it. Pink Floyd. She died in 2023 at 90 years old. Holy crap. Romper Room ended at 78. I thought it had gone on longer than that. So those of you who might remember Romper Room, they used to have these things called romper stompers, right? And basically, I think it was a plastic cup, like a hard plastic cup, but maybe about that big. And they had a string that went through it. And the kids would stand on the plastic cup and hold onto the string and walk around the room. So it would make them like, 4 inches taller because they were standing on top of the cup, holding the thing and going around. Well, the first year I went to the Rose Parade. What do they call that? Rose Parade? I think, yeah, the Rose Bowl Parade, the Tournament of Roses Parade in Pasadena. The first time I went was when the year that I moved to Southern California. And I was working in Pasadena, and my supervisor said, "Hey, why don't you come and stay at our house? Because we live about a block away from Colorado Boulevard. Why don't you come and stay at our house? And then in the morning, we'll just go over to the parade. We don't have to camp out overnight or anything. We'll just, stay here and we'll go over there in the morning." I'm like, okay, cool. So we did that. But what I did was, because I knew we were going over there in the morning, and I knew that the sidewalk would fill up pretty early. So what I did was I got a couple of 5-gallon paint buckets, and I made like giant romper stompers with them. So you know about the size of a 5-gallon paint bucket. Drilled a couple holes in it, put a rope through it, grabbed onto it, and I called them parade shoes. But I could stand at the back of the crowd, see perfectly. So that was fun. Today is my grandpa's birthday, 97. Well, happy birthday, Miguel's grandfather. 97. That's a pretty good showing. My mom almost made 93. She died at 92, but that's a good run. That's a really good run. Okay, let's see. Did I miss anything? Time passes. Oh no, we got that. I think we got everything. We got everything. We're good. We all caught up. All right. And again, guys, I want you to, I seriously, whenever you have some landmark thing occurring in your life or your channel, those of you who have channels, let me know. Let us know, and we'll all celebrate it with you. So, and again, Massachusetts Larry, if you're watching, happy birthday. I don't know. I'm not sure other birthdays coming up. It's got to be some. I mean, there's only 365 days, and there's how many billion people? Okay, so let's get started. We are obviously going to start with our adult beverage. I believe we had one of their products before, but I don't think we had this one. Let me put this where we can see it. This is from Schoferhofer. It says Schoferhofer Hefeweizen Dunkel. Hefeweizen is a wheat beer, and a Dunkel is it's German for dark, so it's a Bavarian dark lager. This is a whopping 5.5% ABV. It's standard. It's average. I think beers are on average are 5% ABV. This is obviously a product of Germany, and it is the way they describe it is a smooth, slightly fruity, unfiltered wheat beer that launched in 1978. Now, this is from, it's either Binding or Binding. I'm guessing because it's another country, it's Binding, but I'm just reading it Binding. Binding Brewery was founded in 1870 by Conrad Binding in Frankfurt, Germany. So they are famous for creating the first Radler. So here's a question for you guys. What is Radler? That's our trivia question. What is a Radler? All right, let's see. Different times lived through that at age. Yeah, the thing about getting older, right? Like I wouldn't mind being 90. I wouldn't mind being 100, as long as I have good quality of life. If I don't have good quality of life, 67 is good. Good for me. I have had a great life. I have had a very good, very eventful life. I've seen a lot of interesting things. I've been a lot of interesting places, and I've eaten a lot of interesting things. I've met a lot of interesting people. I have made some very interesting people, and yeah. So if I get to 67 and my quality of life goes down or something happens and everything, at least I can go knowing that that I've had a really good life. Taylor Swift is here. Well, probably not. Taylor Swift is probably on her honeymoon. Because those of you who don't know, she had a big wedding at Madison Square Garden yesterday, I think it was, and it was officiated by Adam Sandler. So that was kind of fun. So welcome, Taylor. Taylor, I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before, but I know I have seen you leave comments on the videos. So I know you're not new to the channel and everything, but I think you are new to the chat. So everybody, please give Taylor Swift a warm and hearty Trippy Food welcome. Shake, rattle, and roll. That's funny. Yeah. So let me qualify that. Radler, R-A-D-L-E-R. So what is a Radler? I think I chewed that up a little bit. I'd like to say something. We are also joined by a cast of thousands, millions, billions. We have both Tiny Vowels. We have Henrietta, the artificial chicken. We have the Golden Thumb. And we have you guys. Where's my mug? Chuck Berry. Speaking of Chuck Berry Ice Hand, How many of you out there have ever seen Chuck Berry live? How many people have seen Chuck Berry live? I have seen most of the old rock and rollers. I mean, like, the big 50s rock and rollers. I have seen most of them. I have not seen Elvis, and I have not seen Roy Orbison. I obviously have not seen, who's the one that did Blue Suede Shoes? Carl Perkins. Not seen Carl Perkins. But I have seen Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, Fats Domino. Not that I was around in the 50s to see them. It's just that there were times when they would tour, and I had an opportunity to see them, and I took that opportunity to see them. Chuck Berry I've seen 3 times. So the first time I saw him was 1977. He was playing Boston Garden. He was headlining Rock and Roll Spectacular. Second time I saw him was, I think, was 85 or 86. It was at a place called Lone Star Cafe in New York City. Had a giant iguana on the roof. A very, very small club, and it was a really intimate place to see Chuck Berry. That was pretty cool. He didn't have a band with him or anything. It was just him and I think and a piano player. And it was in February, and I sat near the door, and the door kept opening, and it was very, very cold. So I had a bowl of chili. And then the last time I saw him was 2000. It was like 2008, maybe. And it was really sad because he couldn't remember his own songs. And he's still like jumping around on stage and everything. I think he was in his 90s. And he was still jumping around on stage and everything, but he apologized to the audience because he couldn't remember his own songs. So it doesn't look like anybody's seen him, but saw him 3 times. So, and the thing is like you kind of want to see the people that always inspired you, right? Musically, like Paul McCartney. Like I'd always wanted to see Paul McCartney, but hearing him like when I hear him like on TV shows where he's doing something live and everything, and I hear him and I go, you know what? That's okay. That's all right. Cheers. That's kind of like nutty. It has kind of like a nutty taste, like almost like nutmeg and walnut. It has that kind of flavor to it. It's slightly sweet. It doesn't have that alcohol bite. It almost tastes like a red. Like a red beer. I think is a red beer. That's quite nice. Look at that. Look at all the bubbles in there. Look at all, you guys can see that? All those bubbles? It's going crazy. Yeah, that's actually really, really good. That is going to get a thumbs up. All righty. So our question was, what is a rattler? I hear it coming out of my mouth. I'm thinking rattler, like a rattlesnake. Rattler. What is a rattler? Julie says rattler is when you got to get a muffler fixed. Your muffler, fix it. You guys don't remember that? That was an old commercial from the 1970s. That was funny as hell. Let's see. Who else answered that? Let's see. Julie said half beer, half citrus. Janice Hemnock said 50-50 mixture of beer and lemon flavored soft drink. Yes, you are all correct. However, it's not necessarily lemon because typically the first Radler was grapefruit flavored. So it is a blend of wheat beer and I'm going to say a citrus because I've seen some that are not necessarily grapefruit, but the original Radler was wheat beer and grapefruit juice. So yeah, you're all correct. That's fine. All righty, let's do our little housekeeping thing. All right, what did I miss? Oh, Julie says sometimes it's not worth the ticket price. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The exception to that, like I would say somebody like Ringo Starr, right? Like Ringo is not the best drummer in the world. He's good, but he's solid, right? And which is really what you want. But like he's no Neil Peart, right? But that's okay. But he's worth seeing live because he never could sing. You know, he never really had a good voice, never really could sing. But you know, it's Ringo, and he does Ringo songs. Well, he still sounds good. He still sounds like Ringo doing Ringo songs. But when you go to see him and you go to see the all-star band, he has all these other people in his band. Like the one time that I saw him in his band, he had Edgar Winter. You know, they had the song Frankenstein. He had who else? Who's the guy from Toto, the guitarist? Steve Lukather. Had Steve Lukather. He had Gary Wright, Dreamweaver. You know, he had Gary Wright. He had Billy Squier. And so he tours with all these people, and then he gives them a chance to do one of their songs and everything. So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty good show, and it's worth the money. but yeah, I've been to some shows where I've been like so disappointed. I'm like, ooh, you know, yeah, because they've gotten so expensive. It's like kind of like the Rolling Stones, right? People have asked me, you ever seen the Rolling Stones? I'm like, no. It's because I've heard them live pretty early on, and they're not really good live. And how good can they be live now? Not to mention the fact that they're only down to, I think, 2 original members, maybe. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, I think, are the only 2 original members. So they, you know, Bill Wyman retired a long time ago. Charlie Watts, the drummer, he died a few years ago. And then let's see, what else? Who else did they have? Drummer, keyboard, bass, guitar. Oh, guitar. And Ron Wood. Ron Wood has been around since the 70s. So and he replaced their best guitarist, which was Mick Taylor. So never really had a big thing about seeing the Rolling Stones live. And then the cheapest seats to see the Rolling Stones are like $1,000. That's just not worth it to me. You think Bowie would still be rocking out if he were alive? Yeah, I actually do. Well, I don't think he would be rocking out per se. Like, I don't think it would be like Ziggy Stardust kind of stuff. I think because if you listen to his music through the ages, his music had changed a lot, but I think he'd still be performing. Yeah, absolutely. So I think he was 70 when he died. So he was a member of the 70 Club. I think, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he died around the same time as Lemmy, Greg Lake, and Keith Emerson. I think they all kind of died around the same time. John Panette was a wonderful entertainer. I didn't know he was dead. Is John Panette dead? When did he die, Jake? I'm just hearing about this. Isn't that thing the Baby Shake? That's right, Rattlers. Shh. Never been to a concert? My parents went and seen Kenny Rogers in the last tour, and I think he died 6 months after they saw him. Same with comedian John Panette. Yeah, I didn't know John Panette was dead. You've never ever been to a concert, Adam? You got to fix that. Even if you go to some like a club to see like a jazz band or something like that, just go out and see live music. Glad I saw Aerosmith one last time at Fenway before they retired, but Extreme was better than them. Well, the thing was, is like Steve Tyler's voice was shot to hell, right? You know, I saw Aerosmith back in '78. So I've only seen them once, and it was back in '78. And I'm glad I only saw them once because it was like they were drunk. They mostly Tyler was drunk, but they were drunk. They weren't good live. So yeah. But I mean, you know, I'm glad I saw them. But would I see them again? Yeah, probably not. Died in 2014. Oh wow, yeah, that was a while ago. Better to be a member of the 70 Club than the 27 Club. Yeah, I suppose. Although it depends on how you join the club, right? Because you had Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, right? 3 guys. 2 of them died, I think, maybe within a year apart. Now, Greg Lake died of cancer, and Keith Emerson. And the reason he did was because he had a degenerative disease that was preventing him from being able to play, and he was suffering from depression and stuff. So you know, there's different reasons for joining different clubs, and some better than others. But no one wants to join the club anyways, right? Every time a band I want to see is near me, I'm always busy. Find out too late. One of my favorite bands played at a fair about 45 minutes from me. Didn't find out till the day of. What band was that, Adam? Ooh, let's get going because like we're half an hour in and I haven't even started on the first snack. So, but Adam, you know, to answer that. So our grab bag today is from LAXC. If you guys do not know what LAXC is, check out our review of LAXC. So we actually went to LAXC. LAXC and Mama Tings, I think is the name of the place. It's across the parking lot from, and we did a dual episode at LAXC and Mama Tings. That was a lot of fun. So check that out, and then you will know what LAXC is. So what is first on our hit parade? Oh, okay. Candy. We have candy. We got chocolate. Crossfade, they're an alt-rock band. Well, I'll have to check them out. I've never heard of them. Yeah, I know I've not heard of it. Oh, unless I've heard the song and don't know the name of the band, but I'll have to check that out, Adam. Thank you. All right, we are doing this. Oh, let's see. Do it. I'll place it. You can find it. So this is Mont Blanc Bailey's Irish Cream White Chocolate. So it's white chocolate stuffed with, and let's see, con relleno sabor crema irlandesa, which is sin liquor, without alcohol. So it's stuffed with Irish cream flavor without alcohol. And I guess it's a tie-in with Bailey's, and Bailey's makes Irish cream. So this is from Compañía Nacional Chocolates. It was founded as Compañía de Chocolates Cruz in 1920 by Roja, Alejandro Ángel Londoño, and Gabriel Ángel Escobar in Medellin, Colombia. And it is currently owned by Grupo Nutresa. So we're going to try this. We don't usually do chocolate bars. So this is white chocolate stuffed with Irish cream, Bailey's Irish cream flavor. So I don't know if you guys have ever had Bailey's Irish cream. We used to drink it when I was of age to drink. When I first became of age to drink it, we used to drink Bailey's Irish cream. So the question is, what happened? I lost it. Oh no. Oh, there it is. Okay. I pressed the wrong button and I lost my thing. All right. So the question is, in what year was Bailey's Irish cream introduced? Again, in what year was Bailey's Irish cream introduced? Bailey's is like a Christmas and coffee thing. Yeah, absolutely, Jules. And it's been that way for decades. Ooh, it smells funky. It smells like butter. It's kind of waxy. It's kind of a waxy texture. Not wacky, waxy. That's kind of, I'm going to cut one of these open. Let's look inside. All right, so you can just barely, let's see if we can focus on that one. I feel a dog. There's a dog down there. Where are you? It's Canelo. Come up and say hi, Canelo. Come on. It's Canelo, the Duke of Dogdom. Hello, Canelo. How are you doing? You can't have chocolate. It's white chocolate, but I don't know how much cocoa is in there, so and that's not good for you. You want to say hi to everybody? Was that it? Did you want a snack? Did you want a snack? You smell food, and you want a snack. You can have a snack here. I brought in a snack for you. Got one for Doodle, too, so go out and tell Doodle there's snacks in here for him. Here you go. You want that? And off he goes. Canelo, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I know that I have a problem in that I live in a weird area where major bands don't come near me. Like the nearest would be DC. Don't have that many friends, so it is always hard to find someone to go with me. Oh, that does suck. Oh, here's Doodle. Doodle knows it's snack time. Come on, Doodle. You have to say hi if you want a snack. It's Doodle, the Prince of Dogness, everybody. Doodle, you want to say hi to everybody out there? Your adoring public? They come here to see you, not me. You want to say hi, Doodle? You want to say hi? You just want the snack, huh? Okay, here you go. There you go. They didn't take off. They're both in here eat because I can hear them chomping on it. He is naked. They're both naked, except Canelo has a little like scarf on or something like that. Janice says hi, Canelo, and Jules says, dudes. Your sister says hello. And Janice says hello. All right. to me, it doesn't really have that strong Bailey's flavor. Now, the thing is, it says without alcohol. And so like maybe they're trying to reproduce that flavor without alcohol, but how do you do that without the Irish whiskey, right? How do you reproduce that flavor of Bailey's? It really doesn't have that flavor. So it kind of has that sensation, but doesn't necessarily have the flavor. So I'm not really getting Bailey's out of this. And then the white chocolate itself, which I assume is white chocolate, is a little bit waxy and just kind of a strange texture. So I'm going to give that. I mean, it's not horrible. It doesn't suck. It tastes okay, but I'm not getting Bailey's out of it, and the texture is kind of weird. So that's going to get the thumbs in the middle. All right. So the question was, in what year was Bailey's Irish Cream introduced? Janice says invented in 1971 and launched in 1974. Julie said 1974 in Jolly, Dublin. I think that was it. Yeah, 1974, Bailey's Irish Cream was created in London by Tom Jago for Ghibli's of Ireland. So it was created in London, but it was created for an Irish company, Ghibli's of Ireland. It was named after Bailey's Bistro, which was a restaurant on Greek Street in Soho, London, and it included alcohol, cream, and Nesquik. You guys know what Nesquik is? Nestle's Quick. So it had that was the chocolate that was in it. Was Nesquik, powdered chocolate milk. Yeah, good times. All righty. So let's see. I think I missed some stuff, right? Did I miss some stuff? I might have missed some stuff. 36 days or 35 sleeps. Jules, what is that 36 days or 35 sleeps? I missed that. I'm not sure what that is. I'm getting old. It's like the Statue of Liberty New York icon, but technically in New Jersey. Exactly. Well, it's not in New Jersey anymore, and it's not even in New York anymore. I think it's owned by the federal government now. So, but it was originally called Bedloe's Island. It was located in New Jersey waters. New York claimed it, and then eventually the U.S. government claimed it as federal property. So it's no longer part of New Jersey or New York. Oh yes, woo! So for those of you who don't know, Julie is coming to visit in August, and it's going to be a rollicking good time. And maybe we'll probably do a live stream while she's down here together. That'll be fun. All right, let's go to snack number 2. This one's interesting. We have done one of these before, not this brand. So the brand is horneaditos, which means little baked treats. Horneaditos. This is torta negra, and torta negra means black cake, right? This is from a company called Tortas del Gordo, which was founded in 1994 by Ricardo El Gordo Zuluaga and Natalia Hoyos in Medellin, Colombia. So here's a question. This is a traditional Colombian cake. So a lot of people make these cakes, and they're absolutely delicious. Very moist, very rich, very heavy. What is the English language name for torta negra? And again, I don't mean like, black cake, because that's what it literally translates to. But what is the English name for this particular cake? What is the English language name for torta negra? We're going to go ahead and try this. Hey, Port Manatee is here. Welcome, Port Manatee. And everybody else, welcome, Port Manatee. Good to see you again. Glad you could make it. It is snack time. You missed one snack, just one snack, because Val's busy talking and he's not paying attention to the time. So some of you can stay late, some of you can't, but we'll see. All right, I'm going to cut a piece of that off. And then you can see the cross. Well, the cross section looks like the top and the bottom. So that's it. That's torta negra. Ooh, it's a really nice smell. Almost smells like, I don't think there's raisins in here, but it smells like raisins. Almost smells like a rum cake. All right, let's try this. And the thing about this cake, which I'll explain in a minute, is it's typically very, very moist. And that's why it's heavy. Like if you're carrying the cake, it has some serious weight to it. But sometimes it has fruit in it. Sometimes it does not have fruit in it. It's very rich. Really nice. And sometimes the commercial ones are kind of dry or kind of like tasteless and everything, but this one's actually pretty good. I'm gonna have to give this one a thumbs up. That's a thumbs up on this one. So again, that's it's called horneaditos, not horny, horne, H-O-R-N-E, horneaditos, little baked treats. And again, the company is Tortas del Gordo, which means it means like pastries from the fat. And El Gordo is his nickname, so I guess he's a fat guy or something. So that's the thing about I don't know if other Latin American countries do this, but they certainly do this in Colombia. It's like I'll go to like Claudia's high school reunion and everything, and then like, oh, here's Gordo, and here's Flaco, and here's Negro, and here's, you know, and it's like everybody has a nickname, and it's like I don't know what their real names are, because like every single person has a nickname. I think they do this in Mexico too. Anybody know? Anybody know what they do? They do that in Mexico too. But everybody gets a nickname, and that's the name that they go by. So it's like, oh, it's my classmate, Feo, you know, like ugly. I don't know. They just do that, and it's like a term of endearment to them. But they just go by the nicknames, and nobody knows anybody's real name. Yeah, well, Jules deleted it. Thank you, Jules. Whatever. And Miguel, just keep in mind, Miguel, it's a family-friendly channel, not a family channel, a family-friendly channel. We could have kids watching and stuff. And so obviously Julie caught it. I did not. But there you go. Let's see. Big YouTube brother is watching. No, YouTube daughter is watching. So, oh, and Janice retracted a message. So that's odd. Janice corrected herself. When I worked at Qdoba, they would call me Santiago since my name is Jacob. Yeah, well, that makes perfect sense. If your name is Jacob, why wouldn't you call somebody Santiago? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure. I mean, it probably does if you're from a Latin American country. Probably makes perfect sense. What was Claudia's nickname? Her nickname was Kaya. Kaya is what they call her, Kaya. But they didn't give her like a nickname like, you know, tall, fat, ugly, weird, you know, like, you know, they didn't get a nickname like that. They just called her Kaya. And I'm not sure why. Maybe because it was like a drunk way of saying Claudia. All righty. The question was, what is the English language name for torta negra? Did anyone even answer that? Janice did. She said wine cake. Yes, it is wine cake. Wine cake is what they would call that cake in English language. And the reason it's called wine cake is because it's made with wine. Sometimes it's made with rum, but most of the time it's made with wine. And that's what makes it a very heavy cake. There's a lot of wine in it. It doesn't cook out. So, yes, very good. All righty, time for another snack. How are we doing on time? Because I'm like, let's see, we have to go to the top of the hour for our fourth snack, and we're 2 snacks in. We're okay. Val's going off on tangents and stuff, you know, like the old guy that he is. Not like old guy in Colorado, old guy, you know, an old guy. All right, what's next? Oh, this one, okay. Back to candy. And this is Super Coco Turron. All right, Super Coco Turron. Cocoa being coconut, Turron being the type of candy it is, I imagine. And Super Coco Turron was created by Super de Alimentos, originally founded as Fabrica de Dulces Superman. I'm not making this up. Fabrica de Dulces Superman. So maker of Superman sweets. Makes perfect sense, right? In 1948 by Federico Peters in Manizales, Colombia. Like where Tom showed us the big hill that you climbed. Oh, he didn't show us, he showed me. So these are candies. I think from the looks of it, chocolate covered coconut. It looks like coconut on the inside and looks like maybe chocolate on the outside, maybe not chocolate. Maybe it's sugar on the outside. They're probably very sweet. According to the Board of Health, they have excess sugar and excess saturated fat. So I'm really excited about this. Well, let me ask you a question. So these are called Torron, right? By what name does the Italian version of Torron go by? What is the Italian version of Torron? You guys know this because we've done it before. It's a big hit at Christmas time. I need scissors. I don't have scissors. I'm gonna have to use the knife. Getting violent. Sorry, I'm back from the smoker regions of my yard. I'm sorry too, Tom, that you're back. No, I'm not sorry. I'm glad you're back. You don't have to apologize here. Our door is open. You can come and go as you please. One of the lesser named DC heroes. Individually wrapped. So they can stay in the cupboard for 2 years. I don't know. Do they have to do expiration dates down here? I think. Let's see. Let me tell you what lot it's from. Expires May 20th or May of 2027. So we can enjoy these for another 2 years. No, 1 year. Oh yeah, these look like squirrel nut zippers. You guys ever had squirrel nut zippers? I know they're kind of chewy, like squirrel nut zippers. And this is coconut, and I don't know what else. Oh, look, oh, that's hard. Don't go there. Oh my God, that's so tiny. I can't read that. I know it's in Spanish, but that's not a big deal. It's just tiny. And it's black ink. If you can't see through it, let's see. Let's put a napkin there. Oh, ingredients. Azúcar, sugar, cocoa, coconut. Arabe de glucosa, which is something having to do with sugar. Agua, water. Aceite de palma, palm oil. That's it. Coconut, sugar, and palm oil. Okay. That's hard and crunchy. And that's like a squirrel nut zipper. If a squirrel nut zipper was made from coconut. It's like eating plastic. I guess you're supposed to suck on it, right? It doesn't have a really strong coconut flavor, though. It's like, I think it's probably more, oh no, there it is. You have to like do it for a little while, and then you start to get the coconut flavor. But that one, that's going to stay in your mouth a long time. I can't get rid of that. I suppose I could swallow it whole or break it up with my teeth. I could do that. That's challenging. It is a nice flavor. It's a mild coconut flavor, though. It's not a really strong coconut flavor, and I think it probably has a lot of sugar in it. So it probably, my guess is what they do is they melt sugar. They mix coconut with the melted sugar, and then they let that harden, sort of like peanut brittle. It's like the texture of peanut brittle. It's like coconut brittle. So it does have that nice flavor. And the problem is there's so much sugar in it. It's really, really sweet. Now, Isan, you are from Jersey, obviously. So tell me this. Julie and I, we did a road trip to South Carolina. And coming back in Delaware, we stopped at Royal Farms to get their chicken. The Royal Farms is a convenience store, like a gas station convenience store. But they have amazing fried chicken. but I don't know if they're regional, like they're in other places as well. So, do they have the Royal Farms in New Jersey? Iceland? Now, once you get past the sugary part, you do get like it's coconut is all that's left. So some of that coconut doesn't break down. It's not like coconut juice or anything else like that. It has a nice coconut flavor. A little bit on the sweet side, probably because of the amount of sugar that goes in that. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, trending downward. I do like the coconut flavor and everything, but the sugar is just a bit much for me. I don't know how I'm gonna get that into goop mélange. Yeah, so thumbs up, trending downward slightly, but it's pretty good. And then afterwards, get that chewy coconut that's still left. So there's not a lot of that. Now, the question I asked was, by what name does the Italian version of Turon go by? Now, that's a little bit of hint by itself. It's by what name does the Italian version of Turon go by? Jules, do you want to take a shot at this? I didn't see that you guessed. By what name does the Italian version of Turon go by? Portmandy said panettone. Good guess, but no, panettone is like a bread. Julie originally said nougat. You are sort of correct. It is made with nougat, but it's not called nougat in Italy. It goes by something else. And Julie, you've had this. I know you have, which is why I asked. Let's see. Oh, Dad, on the way home, we stopped at the Bon Jovi rest stop on the Turnpike. One of the newest ones is Judy Bloom. I don't think it was the Bon Jovi one. I think it was the what's his name? I think we stopped at the Thomas Edison one. I think we stopped at we might have stopped at. We made multiple stops. We might have stopped at the Bon Jovi one, but I know that we. You did on this last trip. Okay, yeah. When you and I stopped at one of the rest stops, we stopped at the Thomas Edison stop, the Thomas Edison one. So all the rest stops in New Jersey are named after famous people from New Jersey. I'm not familiar with it. I'm from North New Jersey, if that makes a difference. Well, I mean, the thing is you would know if it was in the area, you would have heard about it. So obviously, I don't know if it's in New Jersey at all or just not in the area. So I don't know. So my father's from Camden, so it was Jersey a lot as well. Oh, this time, yeah. So I'm surprised. I thought Royal Farms was probably like the North Atlantic version of Buc-ee's, I guess, and on a much smaller level. But the chicken was off the hook. It was just like amazing. Jules, you remember that the Royal Farms chicken that we had? There are only 15, but I didn't even know they were in New Jersey. There's 200 in Delaware, which is amazing if you think about the size of Delaware. Delaware is not that big a state. So to have 200 scattered around Delaware is pretty impressive. Maybe have some in Pennsylvania too. Maybe. I don't know. All right. So the question was, by what name? Yes, but was it that good or we were that hungry? It was that good. I mean, even if we were hungry, if we ate crappy convenience store chicken, we would remember. So I think it was that good. All right. So the question was, by what name does the Italian version of Turon go by? Toroni. Torrone. So Toroni is that nougat. I'm going to call it a candy, for lack of a better term. It's a really big thing at Christmas time. And I think one of our Trippy Food Christmas episodes that we're actually eating Toroni in that episode. So that is that, as they say. One more snack before our soft drink. We're doing pretty good. We have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes before the top of the hour. So I think we're doing okay. Let's see. I mean, we also ate south of the border. Yes, we did eat it south of the border, but we recognized that it wasn't great. We recognized that the food at south of the border was not great. So no matter how hungry we were, we still recognized it was substandard Mexican food. So for sure. You're gonna take me out. All right. Last snack before soft drink. Here we go. Now, for those of you who didn't notice, I did get my haircut while I was in Bogota. And I went to the same place that usually does my haircut. I usually do a pretty good job, but not that they didn't do a good job, but it's just like I get this spiky stuff here, and the top is kind of like, I look like a old lesbian or something. I don't know, old dyke, kind of. Hey, it is what it is. All right, so these are, I thought it was Trohpi. It's not Trohpi, it's Trohpi-Oh. I was going to spell it out for you, but you guys can read. Trohpi-Oh taro chips. And taro, again, is taro. What is taro? There's another name there's an English name for taro, and I can't remember what the name of it is. So this is the product of Costa Rica. These were brought back from Costa Rica for me by my brother-in-law, Richard. So Richard, if you're watching, thank you for bringing these back. So these are taro chips, and they are from Trohpi-Oh Snacks, which was founded in 2020 by Jennifer Figueros in Costa Rica. Let's see. I don't know if there's a lot of ingredients in here. It might just be taro. Taro, aceite vegetal, it's vegetable oil, and salt, sea salt. So pretty simple ingredients. So here's a question about taro, and no, not Julie, not that question. Here's a question about taro. What Hawaiian dish is made from taro? Taro is a root, I believe. Ooh, they smell nice. Make sure they're cooked. Yeah, that wasn't part of the discussion, but we might as well discuss that. Taro root has these fibers in it, and if you eat it raw, those fibers can get, they can mess with your digestive system. So and also there's an enzyme in it that's not good for you and everything. So before you eat taro, it has to be cooked. Julie found that out the hard way. We bought some when I was in Massachusetts, or in New Hampshire, I think it was. We bought some in a little container, and Julie thought it was coconut. And so, because I think, didn't it say cocoa or something like on the container? I can't remember what it was, but it didn't say taro. And so Julie took a bite of it and everything, and it was like, eh. And then we read about it. And we found out you're not supposed to eat it raw, which she later regretted. So this is taro root fried with sea salt. That's it. Maud Janice deleted Val's haircut comments right away. I must have missed that. Janice, did you make a comment about my haircut that I did? How do you delete the comments? It's in audio. It's not typed out, and it's not offensive, really. I'm not making any offense. It's an observation. You didn't eat a bunch of it, to be fair, Jules. You had maybe that much. You didn't have a bunch of it. You had enough for it to be annoying. These are pretty good. They have a smoother taste than a potato or yuca, and almost like a creamy texture, for something that's fried. The right amount of salt, nice flavor of the taro itself. Did you die? These are good. I like these. And again, it's a mild flavor. There's a really nice flavor. Just the right amount of salt. Nice texture. Yeah. That's a solid thumbs up. All right. Our question was, what Hawaiian dish is made from taro? I don't know if anybody answered that. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, Werewolves of Columbia. Oh, Werewolves of Columbia. I saw a werewolf having a pina colada in Trader Vic's. His hair was perfect. Dip. Yeah, nobody answered it. So the question is, what Hawaiian dish is made from taro? And the answer is poi. Poi is made from taro. Have anybody had poi? Anybody ever been to Hawaii? Anybody had poi? Anybody? His hair was perfect. That's right. Woo, Val of London. Here's the thing about Warren Zevon. Now, there are certain songs, and we could dig into it, and I could tell you what the names of some of those songs are. But there's a certain, I don't call it a category of songs. You're listening to the song and you're not paying attention to the lyrics, and you're going, "Oh, that's a happy, peppy little song. Oh, that's a cute little song. What a nice, lovely little song." And then you listen to the lyrics and you go, Warren Zevon is famous for that. So especially Excitable Boy, the song Excitable Boy, you're listening to it and you're like, oh, what a nice song. And then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, what did I just hear? Sort of like Every Breath You Take by the Police. People listen to Every Breath You Take by the Police. They don't really pay close attention to it. They just listen to the song. Every breath you take, and they're like, wow, what a beautiful love song. And then you listen a little bit more carefully and you go like, wait a minute, dude's a stalker. This dude is a stalker. You know, it's like, you know, there's these songs and you just hear them. You don't focus on them. You don't, analyze them or anything. You don't pay attention to the lyrics and you're like, oh, what a nice song. And then one day you just happen to pay attention to the lyrics and you're like, what did I just listen to? Oh, you've had it and you've needed a lot of sugar to make it edible. Then they have like a Hawaiian day at Knott's, Janice. Is that where you have it? I have a strange question for you, Val. I can't wait. I can't help it being, I can't remember the name of the guy that I follow him on YouTube, and he's awesome. He's a chicken farmer. And at the beginning of every one of his videos where he's trashing somebody for saying something stupid, he goes, what is it now? I have a strange question for you, Val. I can't help it being a retired nurse. Have you ever heard of Chagas disease? It is endemic to South America, apparently. I have not. What do I need to be on the lookout for? I'm gonna have to look that one up. I have not heard it. I have not heard anybody here talk about it and everything. Chagas disease. Ooh, I hope I don't have it. By the way, Julie and I answered the question about poi. Oh, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not gonna go back and look. I'm just gonna trust that you did and say, yes, you got that right, Julie and Janice both got that right. You had poi in Hawaii. Yeah. From what I remember, Claudia wasn't a big fan of it. We had it in Hawaii as well. Claudia wasn't a big fan of it. Me, I was like, yeah, it's an interesting side dish. I wouldn't eat a big bowl of it, but as like a side or something, it was pretty good. Oh, kissing bug disease. I didn't know about it as Chagas disease. I did know about it as kissing bug disease, but I didn't know it was subject to South America. I thought you could get it in North America too. There was a certain insect that if it bit you, that you could get this kissing bug disease. But yeah, I had heard about that. I just didn't realize it was called Chagas disease. So I had heard about it. There's no warnings locally, so people don't tell you like, be careful, you don't get Chagas disease. Be careful, this thing doesn't bite you. The mosquitoes down here are ruthless. There's also something tinier than a mosquito, a little black fly about that big. They call them midges, and they bite harder than mosquitoes do. So, although it should be called the pooping bug disease. Ew. You should look it up, Val. I'm not going to look it up while I'm eating, because especially after what Julie just said, but I will look that up afterwards. I'm not only, well, you know what? Now you got me concerned about it. Now I'm in the Andes Mountains, and I don't know if that's an issue in the Andes Mountains, but let's see. Would you ever try hallucinogenic fish if it gets you high when you eat it? I haven't heard about that either. I would never turn down any food. So if somebody says, hey, would you like to try some of this hallucinogenic fish? I'd be inclined to say yes. What is that? Chagas? Chagas? Chagas disease. There we go. Oh, in dogs. It is a tropical parasitic illness caused by the protozoan Trypanosoma cruzi. It is primarily spread by the feces of infected triatomine bugs, often called kissing bugs, but can also transmit congenitally through blood transfusions or through contaminated food. I have not heard about that. I mean, I didn't know specifically what it was. Kissing bugs typically bite exposed areas of skin, such as the face, at night while a person is sleeping. After feeding, the bug defecates near the bite. That's nice. Glad you made me read that while we're eating food. Thank you. Infection occurs when the person instinctively scratches the area, rubbing the parasite-laden feces into the open wound, eyes, or mouth. It's getting better. Endemic mainly in 21 Latin American countries. Through global travel and migration, mean cases are seen worldwide. In the United States, transmission is rare, but cases are frequently identified in people who were infected in endemic regions. So it doesn't say specifically what regions. Let's see. Rural areas of Mexico, Central, and South America. Well, they don't specifically say where. What does the bug look like? Ooh, I would know if I got bit by that. That is a weird ass looking bug. Have you seen that? Hang on a second. I gotta show you this. Where's my phone? Oh, here we go. Hang on 1 second. I would know if I got bit by that. Let's see. All right, here we go. That's what it looks like. Yeah, that's not like a mosquito. That's not something you see buzzing around and everything. You're like, that's a tank. What is that? All right, I will have to watch for that. I don't see specific areas where, let's see. Does it get it? It doesn't really get into where. It just says rural areas of Mexico, Central, and South America. It doesn't really let me try that in English. Specifically say where. I don't know if like up in the Andes Mountains at high altitudes is an issue, but well, they do look like stink bugs. Yes, you're right, Jules. Salema porgy fish or the dream fish. Now I would have to try that. No Hacaro. It is not Hacaro. No. Reasons not to be in Isekai Carboniferous period. I would agree with you there. All right. Let's see. Oh, we're at soft drink time. It is soft drink time. Once again on Trippy Food, it is soft drink time. And today we are doing. I think we did a Malta before, a malt beverage. Malta. This is a malt beverage, but not not like Steel Reserve or something like that. It's not a beer. It's a malt. It's a malt beverage. These sometimes are carbonated, sometimes are not carbonated, and there are various degrees of how good they are. Jules, I don't know if you remember, we did the Goya one that was like it had some kind of Spanish name. Do you remember that, Jules? We did the Spanish malt beverage. It was like drinking Old English and shoe polish. It was like nasty. Do you remember that, Jules? When we drank that malt beverage, that Spanish malt beverage from Goya? The absolute worst. It was one of the worst things I've ever drank in my whole life, and I've drank some bad things. So this is Nacho Malta. That's Nacho Malta. That's Nacho Malta. It's Nacho Malta. Maybe it's like natural Malta. I don't know. This is from Central Cerveceria de Colombia, which is Central Beer Company of Colombia. It was founded in 2014 as a joint venture between Postobon. You know Postobon, they're the ones that make the Colombiana soda, and the Postobon Manzana, the apple. We've done a bunch of Postobon sodas, right? But it was a joint venture in 2014 from Postobon and Compañía de Cervecerías Unidas of Chile, which is the United Beer Company of Chile. Chile. Not chili, like it's chilly out, or I ate a chili. Chile, the country. Right? So this is a malt beverage, and essentially what it is it's a beer that they don't let turn into beer. Now there's no yeast in here. There's no hops in here. It's malt. But they let the malt. It's a fermented malt beverage with carbonated water. So here's a question, and it's called Malta. The beverage is called Malta. So I'm not talking about the country Malta. I think it's a country. It's an island. From where did Malta originate? From where did Malta originate? So we're just going to try this. There's one called Pony Malta. I'm not sure who makes that. That one's pretty, I think we've done that one before. It's hard to tell what color this is because the bottle is brown. And I think it's also a brown color though. But we'll find out in a second when we pour this into a glass. I'm so glad we shared that moment. You know, you got to try everything, Jules, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it's brown or caramel color. Very dark. Smells sweet. It smells like cookies. Oh, that one's pretty good. Yeah, that one's pretty good. So there's sugar added in it. You can taste that. There's that underlying malt taste. It's a unique taste, and you always recognize it. It's kind of like, it almost tastes like a medicinal, sort of like a Dr. Pepper Moxie kind of thing. If you like those kind of drinks, that you would probably like this. I think it does have health benefits. And essentially what it is really, it's kind of like making beer with malt. Again, no yeast, no hops. They let the malt ferment, and then they stop the fermentation process. And they make this beverage. And again, some of them are like nasty, disgusting, drinks of Satan. And some of them are actually pretty good. And this is one of the ones that's actually pretty good. So if you like those medicinal kind of drinks like Dr. Pepper and Moxie and everything, you will like this. Now, this, we're going to, we obviously mix them together and everything. This would go really nice with a porter, I think. A porter or a stout would go really nice with it. I think they would blend really well. Did I see Joshua Maxwell walk into the room? Joshua Maxwell is here. All right. So the question was, from where did Malta originate? Let's see. Did anyone answer that? I'm going to give you guys a chance. I don't want to to jump on it. If you guys have not had a chance to answer, did you guys answer that? From where did Malta originate? Anybody want to take a stab at that? Jake says apparently it's Semitic Mediterranean. Janice Yamanaka says Germany. Jules, anybody else? Anybody? Hi, Josh. Oh, Joshua Maxwell. Yeah, I think we got you right, Joshua. Anybody? No? Okay. It actually originated from Germany. The guys who make beer, the Germans. It originated in Germany in the late 1800s, and it was called Malzbier, which means children's beer. It was beer for children. So again, like they're making beer, they just stop the fermentation process at a certain point so the sugar doesn't turn to alcohol. And voila. All right, let's see. So we're going to take some of our Schaffenhofer Hefeweizen Dunkel. We're going to mix that in there and see how that tastes. I have a feeling this isn't going to be too bad. Those kids love their beer. Well, if you read history, like especially in New England in the 1600s, they gave kids beer. They didn't give them water. They gave them beer. This is the kind of beer that they got. It was not like it wasn't like this beer. It was like this beer. And they give kids beer instead of water. And the reason why is because since it was fermented and everything, it was safer to drink this than it was to drink the water. Because again, for multiple reasons. One is they didn't, whatever water they drank came out of the ground, and it was questionable whether it had, parasites or toxins or whatever in it. And the other is that, as people were wont to do back then, they weren't really conscientious about where they dumped their waste. So like everybody would dump it in the river, and it would be the same river that they would drink out of, and then eventually like the town well would become toxic or have some sort of like cholera or some sort of fun disease like that in it. So back then it was safer to give your kids this a beer than it was to let them drink water. The water was literally more toxic than alcohol. Exactly, Jake. Perfect. Yeah, a perfect description. All right, here we go. Ooh. That's interesting. So mixed with the beer, the real beer, I'm sorry, it almost has like, it almost tastes like licorice all sorts. That makes any sense whatsoever. Almost has a flavor like licorice all sorts. The combination is pretty good. Nashies is here! Nashies, have you been here for a while or did you just show up? And they figured out if it was the boiling of the water that killed the germs. Yeah, too late though. And then the kids are hooked on the beer. I don't think they added sugar to it. Or maybe if you put sugar in it to ferment it. Welcome, Nashies. Glad you could make it. Nashies, Nashies and Joshua. I mentioned this at the beginning. I don't know if you guys were here or not. I mentioned at the beginning because this is a milestone for Tom. He just recently hit 2,000 subscribers, and Janice recently hit 7,000 subscribers, and she's on track to hit 8,000 subscribers really soon. So I just mentioned to everybody, hey, if you have any milestones that you want to talk about, let us know, share it with us, and we will celebrate them with you. So birthdays, anniversaries, and those of you with channels like you, Nashies, like, are you coming up to a milestone number of subscribers and stuff like that? So, let us know, and we will celebrate with you. This is actually pretty good. I like this. I could drink a bottle of this. I really could. It's not, I mean, if you think about it, right? The Malta is not a big departure from beer itself, right? And then this is beer. Like, it might not work with with like a light lager or an IPA or something, but this works perfectly. It works with a dark wheat beer. This is one of the rare times that mixture gets like a thumbs up. Like I would drink a bottle of that if it was mixed together. I would drink a bottle of that. That was actually pretty good. Okay, I found a Rocket Pop cider yesterday, and it's pretty good. It's raspberry cherry lime flavor. Raspberry cherry lime cider. A lot going on there, Jared. It does sound good, though. Now, the thing about Rocket Pop is, now correct me if I'm wrong, a Rocket Pop is what people eat on the 4th of July, and it's basically a popsicle, right? It's a red, white, and blue popsicle. Am I getting that correct? A Rocket Pop is a red, white, and blue popsicle. I'm not sure what the flavor is. I think Nashies, you just did was it Faygo? Was it a Faygo soda or something that was like Rocket Pop? Rocket Pop? Is that right? Rocket Pop flavored? That red, white, and blue flavor? Did you just do one of those, Nashies? Am I mistaken? Yes, blue raspberry, which is not a real flavor, lemon and cherry. Yeah, that's what I thought. But that as a cider, so basically it's raspberry cherry lime flavor, and the fact that it's a cider is like, is it an apple cider or is it, what is the base of the cider? I think you can make ciders from there's pear cider, there's other kinds of cider and everything. So you got a lot of fruit happening there. But it does sound pretty good. It's a fruit cider. The lime kind of gives it that citrus kick. Cherry's always nice in there, and raspberry. Yeah, it's not raspberry's tart. So got a lot going on in there, but it sounds like it would be good. I had a video hit 1,000 views for the first time. All right, everybody, give it up for Nashies, who had one of their videos hit 1,000 views. Congratulations, Nashies. That is cool. That is definitely mine. I'm lucky if mine get 30. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I have some that are like over 1,000, but they're like 5 or 6, 7 years old. Some 10 years old. Some of the older ones. So that's pretty good. All right. So yeah, thumbs up on that concoction. Both of these good drinks. I enjoy both of these. That's a good Malta. It's not like the one Julie that I made Julie drink, and I still feel bad to this day for making Julie drink it. It was my air-conditioned feral shelter video. I missed that. I missed that one. I'm gonna have to check that one out. I thought I see all your videos, but I don't remember an air-conditioned feral shelter. I'm gonna check that one out. So for the animals in the heat, that's nice. It's very conscientious. All right. So we are back to snack time. Let me put the lid on that. I might actually drink. I don't usually drink the whole bottle of these, but I might drink this. Does this say how many calories? 47 calories. That's nothing. 47 calories. How do they get it that sweet with only 47 calories? Let's see. Agua, maltodextrin. Well, the maltodextrin is a sugar. They add sugar to it. That's hardly anything. All right. So let's go back into our snacks. Now we're going to start to get into the savory and sweet and spicy and all that other fun stuff. Okay, this again is from Super Ricas. Super Ricas onditas. Onditas are wavy, so they're wavy chips. They're Super Ricas, and they are sabor salsa de tomate, which sounds like tomato salsa, but salsa de tomate is actually ketchup. That's the Spanish name for ketchup is salsa de tomate. I think we brought in a package of ketchup to show you guys. It was like in this squeeze pouch of ketchup called salsa de tomate. So these are Super Ricas onditas salsa de tomate chips, potato chips. They're from Comestibles Ricos, which was founded in 1961 by Carlos Eduardo Silva Roja in Bogota, Colombia. So these are essentially ketchup chips. They're a Latin American version of ketchup chips, so I'm excited about trying these. And we did another ketchup chip a while back. I don't remember which one, but a few live streams ago, we did a Latin American ketchup chip. So I'm kind of excited to try these. There are some people who do ketchup chips better than others. The United States is not one of them. So as long as we're on the subject of ketchup chips, let me ask you this question. Who created the first ketchup chips? I hear Claudia yelling in the other room. It's because the World Cup is on, and she is very involved in the games on the World Cup. All right, here we go. Who created the first ketchup chips? And if you want to do the country, that's fine. That's kind of general, and I think everybody knows that. But try to be more specific than the country. I don't mind if this goes a tad after 6. I feel like people are having fun. Yeah, we're on track now. I think so. We'll see. It might go a little bit more, but I think we're okay. Well, that's the idea, Jake. The idea is for us to have fun, right? It would be if I just wanted to sit here and talk about food, I would just do episodes, right? But I'm here to communicate with you guys, to share things with you guys, and have you guys share things with me. And so, we might talk about something that is not necessarily food or travel related. We won't get too far off on a tangent, but sometimes we will. Like music, we get stuck talking about something like that. We don't talk about religion and politics here, because otherwise there goes your 2 hours. But sometimes we'll be talking about a certain food or a certain region or something like that, and we'll get into it and we'll talk for about 10 or 15 minutes or something. And that's okay, because that's what we're here. We are doing a live stream about food and travel. And if we talk about either one of those, then I think we're being pretty successful. Okay, Jules, but so we'll say granted, Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. We will say Canada, but try to be more specific than just Canada. They look good. Very tangy. There's a vinegar taste that you usually get with ketchup chips. It almost tastes. I hope I'm wrong. Natural ketchup flavor. Potatoes, vegetable oil. Yeah, that's it. There's an aftertaste there. I thought it was like an artificial sweetener, but it's not. Nice flavor in the potatoes. It's slightly spicy. So I think it's spicier than ketchup would be. So I think when they talk about ketchup flavor, they may be adding something artificial to that ketchup flavor to make it taste like ketchup. Because it doesn't taste exactly like ketchup. It doesn't hit the way Canadian ketchup chips do. Jules, in Spanish, at least Colombian Spanish, tonto means stupid. Not like Kimo Sabi tonto. Tonto means stupid down here. Ay, su tonto. Nice. Lone Ranger reference. Yeah. Yeah, that's how Lone Ranger died. Tonto found out what his name meant. I can't say these are the best ketchup chips I've had, but they're pretty good. They're savory. They're slightly spicy, which I think is nice. Maybe they don't hit the same way the Canadian chips do. They're not as bad as the American versions of ketchup chips, but they're pretty good. I'm going to say thumbs up, trending downward slightly. Because again, they don't have that like punch you in the face ketchup flavor that the Canadian chips do. So yeah, I'm going to say thumbs up, trending downward slightly. So my question was, ketchup chips were, or who first created ketchup chips? Now, I think everybody said Canada. Jules said Quebec, and then Toronto. Did you miss any provinces or major cities that you want to add in there? I don't know what city it was. I'm not even sure what province it was. Let's see. Janice said created in the early 70s by the Canadian brand Hostess potato chips. That's pretty specific, Janice. And you are right. I heard Hostess Munchies were making a comeback just the same. Okay, so Jake, big difference. So there was a Canadian company called Hostess. I don't know if they're still around anymore, but there was a Canadian company called Hostess. They made potato chips. And then there's Hostess Snacks. And Hostess Snacks, I think they're national in the US, which are completely different. So they make I always go to the Drake's product because Drake's was one of their competitors in New England. Drake's made like the Funny Bones, Ring Dings, Devil Dogs. So I think it's like Ding Dongs. Hostess made Ding Dongs. They made, what are some of the other products Hostess? Well, Twinkies, obviously. So they make snack cakes. Hostess in the United States makes snack cakes. But this, the ketchup chips were invented in the 1970s by Hostess in Canada, a company called Hostess, as Janice says, Hostess potato chips. And they were made to mimic the flavor of French fries and ketchup. So it had ketchup flavor to it, but the idea was to put them on potato chips to mimic the flavor of French fries with ketchup on them. And to this day, the Canadians have that down to a science. What is it? What is that nursery rhyme brand? Not Jack and Jill. What is it? Jules, you know this. They have them, and you can get them in Massachusetts. The Canadian potato chips that are so good. Like Mother Goose or something. I can't remember the name of it. Jules, you know it. What is it, Jules? That's Thunder. Humpty Dumpty. Yes, Jules. Thank you. Humpty Dumpty chips, which are from Canada. You can get those in New England, and their ketchup chips they're off the wall. They're just like they're so good. So, yeah, that's a thumbs up. Trending downward slightly just because they don't nail that ketchup flavor, but they are pretty good. All right, next snack. There we go. Just doing some housekeeping here. Housekeeping. Oh, these are going to be fun. Because they're in a can. And these are Anoa. I think it's Anoa. I think that's how that would be pronounced. Anoa. They're excess in sodium. These are Anoa anchovy stuffed olives. This is a product of Spain. The company is called Angel Camacho. It's not Macho Camacho, not President Mountain Dew Camacho, but Angel Camacho. It was founded in 1897 by Santiago Camacho Roman in Morón de, let's say Moron, Morón de Frontera, Spain. All right. So they are olives stuffed with anchovies. So here's a question about anchovies. When were anchovies first used on pizza? When were anchovies first on you? Those of you who say anchovies do not belong on pizza, when were anchovies first used on pizza? Nashies, you have not had the opportunity to try ketchup chips. You have to try ketchup chips. I know you can get them in your area. You have to be able to get them. But don't get the, if you see like Lay's ketchup, Lay's or Ruffles or anything, they come out every once in a while. Every once in a while, they'll come out with the ketchup chips. But there should be like, if you go to a well-stocked grocery or even a specialty store and everything, they should have like ketchup chips from Canada and stuff. I would think you get pretty much international stuff where you are. AI is getting into olives now. They are not real olives. It's an experience that I'm not really experiencing. I haven't had any in our hunts. I want the good ones. Yeah, Canadians. If you find the Canadian ones, those are the good ones. I will look around for you, Nashies, and I'll see if I can find out where they would have them. How do they stuff them in that tiny little hole? Don't go there. Caveat, I like anchovies. I like anchovies out of the brine. So like you go to like some delis, they'll have a big jar of anchovies in brine, as opposed to the ones you get in cans that are packed in olive oil and just have so much salt on it that they're just like, I can see why people say they don't like anchovies is because they've had the ones that cost $1 a can that come in a can, put those on pizza, and it's just like, what am I eating? A salty eyebrow, So I get that, I really do. I think you just need to. Is that one of the cups? I think you just need to find a good anchovy, like I said, a brined anchovy that's comes right out of the big jar of anchovies and everything. And you might change your mind on anchovies. You might not, though. Some people just aren't into the fish. So this is saltier. The anchovies are just kind of mild. The olives are really good. Yeah. Those are good. They're not over the top salty like some anchovies are. The anchovy just lends a really, really nice flavor to the olive, which already has a really nice flavor and everything. And it almost has like a blue cheese finish, which makes no sense whatsoever because there's no blue cheese in here and everything, but almost has like this blue cheese finish and everything. Really, really good. That's a thumbs up. Okay, so our question was, when were anchovies first used on pizza? Anchovies were used as a topping on flatbread in ancient Rome. So in ancient Rome, they were using them on flatbread, which were the original pizzas. But they became a pizza topping in Naples during the 1700s. Okay, so let's talk about some of the stuff here. Apparently, ancient Rome put garum on their pizza. Yeah, so they also, from anchovies, would ferment them and they make a fish sauce from them, from anchovies. And that, I think that's what the garum is, right? The anchovy fish sauce. And they would put that, like you said, Jules, put it on everything. Yeah, so Jules, you're correct, 1700s. Janice, you're correct, 18th century Naples. Yeah, all correct, everything. So they've been on pizza before they were serving pizza in the US. So those of you who say anchovies don't belong on pizza, sorry. Real anchovies are good, but that's the East Coast bias again. Well, okay, so the first time I had real anchovies, like the anchovies in brine, was in Texas, was in Austin, Texas. In Austin, Texas, there's a grocery store chain called HEB, which I think is if I'm not mistaken, Henry E. Butts is the guy's name who started HEB back around 1905, somewhere around those years. Anyways, there's a grocery store throughout Texas. I think they're headquartered in San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken. But in Austin, Texas, they have two big flagship stores, and they're called Grand Central Market, or HEB Central Market, I think it is. And so Saturday, you go hungry to Central Market. It is crowded as hell, and you just walk. Like they have the store laid out like a sort of like a zigzag thingy, right? You kind of go through it like that. You go in there hungry, and you come out full, because they get samples, and the samples are amazing. And the first time I ever tried like the brined anchovies, like out of the jar, was at Central Market. I remember one time I was there, and they have like a cheese department that's like a room. It's that large, and they had my favorite cheese, which was Fleur de Maquis. And Fleur de Maquis is a cheese that they allowed the mold to grow on the outside of it. So there's this fuzzy mold covering, and they put some like spices and herbs and stuff like that on it as well. Oh my God, so good. It's a brie that they allow the mold to grow on it. So there's fuzzy mold on it, but it's delicious. And then another time I went there, and they had this pate that was like $120 a pound. And they said, "Would you like to try some pate?" And I'm like, I've heard stupid questions before, but that's one of the stupidest. Of course I want to try some pate. And they gave me like a little spoonful of it. I'm like just melting on my mouth. Oh my God, it was amazing. But yeah, if you have an opportunity to try the anchovies, like the brined anchovies, definitely try those. And it might change your mind about it. But again, like some people just like aren't a big lover of things that are kind of fishy. Look who's back. It's the dude. It's the dude. Doodle, come here. Come here, Doodle. It's Doodle, the Prince of Dogness. Doodle, say hi to your adoring public. They're out there. They come to see you. They don't come to see me. They come to see you. They hope to get a glimpse of you. And you have to give them what they want. I know. You're going to say hi? Where's Canelo? Oh, Canelo's here too. All right. Well, let's bring you both up. Don't eat the olives. I know they're not bad for you, but just don't eat them. Come on up, Canelo. Come on. Well, you can both come up. All right. We're doing double dog duty here. Canelo and Doodle, everybody. Canelo, what is it? The Duke of Dogness, and Doodle, the Prince of Dogness. So here they are. Doodle and Canelo. They love you out there. They're out there. They're out there. I know you just come for the snacks. All right. I know you're getting all excited and you want the snacks. All right, come on. Snacks for both of you. These are good. They got oatmeal in them. One for you. One for you. Enjoy, boys. Doodle and Canelo, ladies and gentlemen. They call them the Diamond Dogs. That's right, Jake. They call them the Diamond Dogs. And the Spiders from Mars. All right. Hey, everybody. Everybody said hi. Those babies, Nashies, are 7 years old. Well, we don't know for certain. We took, when we first got Canelo, we took him to the vet. And the vet said, based on his teeth, they were guessing he was about 7 years old. But, it's not like they cut him in half and counted the rings. But they guessed he was about 7 years old, and Doodle's about 7 years old too, because I think it was a year old when we got him, and that was, back in 2000, I think. It was during COVID that we got Doodle. So Doodle's an American dog. He was an American dog, and Doodle's American dog, and Canelo is definitely Colombian dog. So he probably speaks Spanish if we ever understood what he was saying. All right, anchovies. All right, moving on up. And again, that's a product of Spain. Anytime we are doing a product that is not a product of Colombia, I will tell you, and that is not a product of Colombia, that is a product of Spain. España. Okay, what's next? Oh, these. Okay. They're going to smell these. They're going to want some, I think, because that's how they roll. These are Cabanos. We've done Cabanos before, not this brand. We've done other brands. This is Viande Cabano Mixto de Res y Cerdo, which is Cabano is a cabin, is what they call it. So I guess it's like a smokehouse. It's like mixed cabin beef and pork. Res y cerdo, beef and pork. So this is a Cabano is a type of Colombian sausage. You okay? You right there? You want some water? There's water in the kitchen. I don't have water here for you. There's water in the kitchen if you got some of that treat stuck in your throat. It is a type of Colombian sausage. Typically, they're really long. They're long and they're thin. They're not. These are short, obviously shorter ones, but they are a type of Colombian sausage. These are from Carnes Casablanca, White House Meats. Carnes Casablanca was founded in 1982 by Lia Rosa Arango and Sons in Medellin, Colombia. So again, these are Cabano sausages. From where did Cabano sausages originate? And if you want to tell me the country, that's fine. But from where did Cabano sausages originate? So we're going to try these Viande, excess in sodium, excess in saturated fats, mixed beef and pork Cabano sausages, or salchichas, as they like to say down here. There's a dish they make down here with French fries and sausages. I think it might be chorizo sausages, and because sausage is salchichas and potatoes are papas, they call it salchipapas. So salchipapas is this French fry dish with sausages on top of them, cut up sausages. No, Ice Hand. Well, he may have been someone's pet at some point in time, but typically, especially here, if you have a pet, you put a collar on the pet so that everybody knows that somebody owns that dog, because people take in strays here, and there are a lot of strays. There are a lot of feral dogs here, and people will take them in and take care of them. This is where I live is a kind of a dumping ground, so people will come all the way from Bogota, which is a 3-hour drive, just to drop their dogs off here because they know that the town will take care of them, and they do. They take care of them. So when we found Canelo, we wanted the same thing. So we kind of walked up the street. He wouldn't leave our side. He was just walking up the street with us, and we had Doodle too. So he was like hanging out with Doodle. So we walked all the way into the town center. It's about 1.5 miles. Probably about half a mile from where we were. And we were hoping that along the way, somebody would be like looking for him, but nobody was looking for him. He didn't have a collar on. He was infested with fleas. So like the skin on his back was like, you could see this, like the fur was missing. He had so many fleas on his back, and he's missing his middle bottom teeth here. So when we took him to the vet said, yeah, he's been outside for a long time. So like I said, he may have been somebody's pet at one point in time, but he wasn't when we found him. He had been outside for a considerable amount of time. So we got him his shots, we got him neutered or fixed or whatever they call that. We got him dewormed, we got him defleed. And yeah, so he's up to date and everything. He was really skinny thing when we got him, very, very skinny. And since we've been feeding him on a regular basis, just like we do with Doodle, and he's put on a little bit more weight and he looks a little bit healthier. But yeah, we were hoping that, because he's so adorable. Everyone thinks he's a puppy, and we were thinking somebody's going to be devastated if they lost this little dog, but we could not find an owner. And like I said, this place is like really dog friendly. So if you don't like dogs, you're going to have a real big problem going into the restaurants here. Because if you're sitting in the restaurant, they usually the doors open. And if you're eating in a restaurant here, it is not uncommon for you to be sitting there eating, and a dog comes up to the table and just puts his head up on the table and just looks up at you like, "Hey, got anything extra there? I'm not picky. Just roll whatever you got and everything." And that's just the thing down here. And so like, if you're a dog person, you're going to love it. If you're not a dog person, you don't like dogs, you're going to be very uncomfortable and everything. But the town is just like, they love their dogs. And so, like I said, he was a stray, and we brought him to the vet. We had the vet look him over and everything. And so So yeah, so now he's ours, and Claudia speaks to him in Spanish, figuring that he understands Spanish, but he may not have ever been in a home, so he may not understand language at all. So it doesn't matter whether you speak to a dog. It doesn't matter whether you speak French, English, German. It really doesn't matter as long as you associate a certain activity with, or a certain thing with, a certain word or sound, right? So you can just make a sound, and if that sound means it's time to eat, every time that dog hears a sound, the dog will look for food. So I don't think he speaks Spanish per se, or understands Spanish per se, any more than he understands or speaks English. I'm going to eat on the ground with the Via puppers every day. Pats for all of them. You're going to run out of food pretty quick because there's a lot of them. But yeah, you'd just be sitting there. Dog comes up. Hi, how you doing? Sometimes you just pat them and everything, and that's good enough for them. And other times they put their paw on you. And you're like, no, beef. It has to be beef. Speaking of beef, let's try the sausages. Now, I don't know what kind of casing is on here, so it might be a tough casing. We're just gonna. No, you know what? I'm gonna cut a piece off. That's why we have a cutting board. Get that nice cross section. That looks like pork. Now, that doesn't taste like a natural casing. It tastes like an artificial casing, or the texture is like an artificial casing. The meat's really smooth, nice spices. Not like ahi, not like peppers. Not like hot peppers or anything. Nice level of spice. Like not even. I don't know if you're tasting black pepper. Just like mellow herbs and spices, that kind of spices. Maybe black pepper. Really nice flavor. If it's a mixture of beef and pork, it's well blended. Really, really nice. Nice texture. It's not like slimy, or it's not like plastic like the Slim Jims are. So yeah, those are actually pretty decent. I'm getting a phone call from Russia. Russia. Or is that Marsha? Yeah, thumbs up. Those are actually really, really good. All right, so let's see. Oh, we're doing great on time. We're going to have plenty of time for, and you're still going to be able to catch the World Cup if that's what you're watching. No, I don't think you will, because I think it's already on. Hey, Freak Guru is here. A little late, but it's never too late. Our door is always open, Freak, and anytime you come in, you're welcome. Just come on in and have a seat, have some of what we're having. Freak Guru is here, everybody. Say hi. All right, so our last one, I have the kettle here, and I'm going to get the kettle started while I'm busy yapping. Did I answer the question? I did not answer the question. Okay, the question was, from where did Cabano sausage originate? Let's see. Jules said Turkey. Janice said Poland. Jake said the ghost of Smoky Kielbasa. Sounds like a southern road comedy. Isan said from the Copacabana. Janice is correct. Cabano originated in Poland as thin smoked, dry cured pork sausage in the 1920s. All right, so last and definitely not least, these are really interesting. So this is Bowlful. I suppose is the brand, or the product line is called Bowlful, and this is kimchi flavored ramen. They say instant noodles, but instant noodles infers that you pour the water in and you just immediately start eating them, and that's not the case. This is how many minutes is this one? This is how many minutes? Help me out here. Where's how many minutes? It's pour water up to the line. Oh, here we go. It's in French. 4 minutes. Wait 4 minutes. Oh, no. Yeah. Pour boiling water into the fill line. Wait 4 minutes and stir. Now, you may be asking yourself, Val, why is it in French? It is in French because I bought these at a Colombian dollar store called Dollar City. There's a Colombian dollar store called Dollar City. They're in a bunch of different places. They're in Bogota. They're in Tuna. A bunch of different places. So you notice they don't even have like the little triangle and stuff. They just show you élevé en graisse. So elevated levels of saturated fat and sodium, right? They're sort of like the little triangles are down here. But obviously this is from somewhere else, and this is from Canada, which is why you have French on here. It's from Quebec. And the reason it's from Quebec is because these are sold exclusively by Dollar City here in Colombia, but Dollar City is a subsidiary of Dollarama in Canada. How many of you have, I think we have some Canadians in the room. How many of you have ever been to a Dollarama in Canada? So funny story, Claudia and I we spent a week up in Montreal and Quebec City. And while we're in Quebec City, they had a huge Dollarama. And so like we would look at it, we'd go like, Dollarama. And we wanted to get to the Dollarama, and we never got a chance to go to this huge Dollarama up in Quebec City. So another time we had gone to Vancouver, which is on the West Coast. We had gone to Vancouver, and in Vancouver, we saw the sign for Dollarama. So we was like, hey, this is our chance to go to Dollarama. We went into Dollarama. It wasn't any bigger than a convenience. The one that we went into in Vancouver was no bigger than a convenience store. And so we just looked at each other and went, Dollarama. So like in Quebec, it was Dollarama. And in Vancouver, it was Dollarama. So it was kind of a disappointment. But anyways, these are from a product of Dollarama, which indirectly is a product of Dollar City. Okay, so I told you if it's a product of somewhere else, I will tell you this is a product of Canada. Bowlful is an in-house brand of Dollarama, founded in 1992 by Larry Rossi in Matane, Quebec. Okay, so here's a question for you. When was the first dollar store established in Canada? Again, when was the first dollar store established in Canada? All right, so the water is hot. I'm going to peel back the top. I'm going to put in our paquette. We are going to put in the paquettes. I had the Nongshim kimchi noodles, and they were decent, especially when you cook it with kimchi. Yeah, well, you can either cook it with kimchi or add kimchi afterwards. This, I think, there's 3 packets. One that looks like an oil. That is some vegetables, and this is like the flavoring. I think we're supposed to put this all in at the same time. Empty pouch containers into bowl. Yeah, so we put those all in the same time. The ramen looks like, your ordinary run-of-the-mill ramen. Oh, that's going to go everywhere. That doesn't look like chili oil because it's a lot lighter. Maybe it's machine oil or motor oil. Yeah, here we go. This must be like the kimchi flavoring. Well, it looks like there's little bits of dried kimchi in there. This might be actually pretty good. All right, our water's hot. Let me get my timer ready. 4 minutes, right? Not 40 minutes, 4 minutes. All right, there's our timer. We fill up to the line. We pour hot water all over the desk and our lap. We get 3rd-degree burns. Perfect. There we go. All right, let me start the timer. Let me put something on top of it. I will put this on top of it. And now we wait 4 minutes, so it gives us a chance to talk. Got to lube up the innards to aid in digestion. You have times you got Sue the Cattle Maker's brand. We had a little bit of a crisis before the show, is in that the extension cord, because this is plugged into the wall over there, the extension cord had like a tear in it, and so the little sparks came out, and the extension cord stopped working. So prior to the beginning of the show, maybe 15 minutes prior, I was patching together the extension cord. I have to get a new one because it's not safe to use one that you've patched together, but you got to do what you got to do. Are you sure that's written in French? You're not reading it with an outrageous. Of course I am French, you ninny. Why do you think I speak with this outrageous accent? Now go away before I shall taunt you a second time. Got to Lou. I got that. Sue the Candle Maker's brand. No, this one's actually pretty good. If I did manage to spill it all over my lap and burn myself and everything, I'm not going to sue that. They're going to say, "Oh, Val, it was you." Yeah, that makes perfect sense. There, I lubed the innards. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Would love to see sausage off Germanic versus Hispanic. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because there's other places like morcilla. Morcilla originally comes from Spain, and the Spanish version of morcilla is different than the Mexican version of morcilla, which is different than the Colombian version of morcilla. Morcilla is a blood sausage. A lot of other cultures have blood sausage as well. Sundae, I think it's called sundae in Korea, is a blood sausage. Trying to think of, it's not a blood sausage, but it's a blood stew in the Philippines, dinuguan. So there's a lot of different cultures that have like blood sausage and everything. So even though you would say like specific, you could do it like a World Cup of sausage. That would be good. A World Cup of sausage, a different sausage from every country that makes sausage, like a Polish sausage. Obviously, you guys have probably had Polish sausages. Like, what's a good Chicago hot dog if you're not putting a Polish sausage in it, right? So there, you have your Polish sausage, you have your Spanish morcilla, you have your Colombian. Oh, there's like down here you have longaniza, you have chorizo, there's like 4 or 5 different kinds of sausages out here. So that would be Freak. I think you're onto something, right? I think we should do like the World Cup of sausages and have a sausage from each country and have and do like what is the best sausage in the world from each country. That would be very cool. Now, some sausages you obviously can't get in some places because obviously it's meat, and some countries don't allow you to bring meat in from other places. But that would be awesome to do sausages from different countries and to try to see what the differences of the sausages from different countries. My friend Anshu, who has the exotic meat company, he makes sausages, and he makes exotic sausages. So he'll make like reindeer sausage and alligator sausage and things like that. Jules, you've had some. What did you think of the sausages that Anshu made? What did we had? We had elk, we had bobcat. I think we had bobcat, elk, and I can't remember what the other one was. Beaver. Maybe it was beaver. I know beaver sausage sounds like a contradiction, but I heard dogs. I'm sorry, there's no more treats. You ate all the treats. You're good. Oh, 4 minutes is up. All right. No, you ate all the treats. I don't have any more treats. You ate them all. I would give you guys more treats, but I don't have any more. Plus, it'll spoil your dinner. It's almost dinner time for you guys, isn't it? And you can't have this kimchi ramen, that's for sure. That's kind of pale. I usually I would think a kimchi ramen would be more like thick and reddish, but I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of pale. That's okay. I think that powder got up my nose. You hear that metal sound? That's Canelo's tail hitting against the desk. Secret hot nude stream. Yeah, we don't usually do like a hot nudes on the live stream, so that is unusual. So there's like little bits of you can see the little bits of. Yeah, you can't see that. See if we can do it so that you can. Little bits of kimchi in there. I would think like to really get that kimchi flavor, maybe use a little less water. But if you use a little less water, you're probably not going to get your noodles cooked all the way. And I like to get my noodles cooked. Don't you like to get your noodles cooked? Maybe put some sausage in those nudes. Well, to be honest with you, freak, we're doing goop mélange, so. But just put the sausage. So here's the thing, right? If I'm doing an episode, I'm going to dress these up, right? Or like for instance, if I'm doing one of the bulldog chicken ramens, I'm going to use chicken broth, right? And the reason I'm going to do that is because bulldog is a chicken stew. It's a spicy Korean chicken stew. But the bulldog noodles never have real chicken in it. So I we'll cook the noodles in chicken broth and everything. So I'll step it up, right? Or I'll put pieces of chicken in it or something like that. So if I was doing an episode with this, I would, like Julie said, cook it with kimchi. I would put kimchi in it. But because it's a live stream and we're just trying it as is, I'm not putting anything extra in them. Yeah, dress up them nudes, exactly. Because you can't go out with nudes, you have to dress them up before you take them out. I actually forgot about the grab bag battle royale near the end. The goop mélange, Jake. And who remembers where goop mélange comes from? Where did goop mélange originate? Didn't originate from me. Look, I'm trying to get pieces of kimchi in there, and I'm not very successful. Here we go. At least I think it's red. I think it might be kimchi. There's some carrot and some corn in there too. There's corn in everything. Yes, Nashies is correct. The very last episode of The Odd Couple, the one from the 70s with Jack Klugman and Tony Randall. So very last episode, Jack Klugman, as Oscar Madison, cooked for Felix, which is something he never did. So he cooked for Felix, and he made this dish, and Felix came in and he looked at it. He goes, "What is this mélange?" He goes, "I was going to call it goop, but I like your name better. I'm going to call it goop mélange." But doing this trick where you take the powder mix with the mayo, an egg yolk, splash the soy sauce, then mix up and slowly mix in the noodle. Oh my God, that sounds good. Oh, I like that, freak. I'm going to have to try that. I'm going to buy another bowl of these from the Dollar City, and we'll have to try that. Ooh, that has some heat. That's spicier than kimchi. Oh, yeah, that's got some fire. Well, it has an unusual flavor that I can't describe as kimchi. It does have that kind of fermented taste. Wow, that has some serious heat. That's surprising. I didn't realize it was going to be that because kimchi is spicy because you make it with chilies, but or chili paste. But I don't remember kimchi being that spicy. That has some serious spice. Wow. Now the noodles are pretty standard. Every once in a while, you'll get an instant ramen that has noodles that are like a kind of a departure. They taste a little bit different. Like they taste like there's egg in it or something, or buckwheat or something, something along those lines. These are pretty much your standard ramen noodles. So what makes these good is what they're, the spices that they use, the other flavors that they use, the little packet of vegetables, the oil, right? Again, that oil was like yellow in color, so I don't think it was a chili oil, but there's something in here that really is packing some heat. And there's a strange flavor that I can't quite place. Almost like fennel, fennel flavor in there. My folks were born in the mid-50s, so I have a good amount of 70s and 70s media knowledge. Makes me feel more rounded. Awesome. I was born in the early 60s, so that's close to the mid-50s. And so that's where I get my 70s and 80s. I mean, I watched the last episode of The Odd Couple when it came out. So Also, if you do the trick, I recommend serving with some fried spam. It just gets better every time you mention it, freak. Fried, yeah, Nashies. You, me, and Freak, and Julie, I think we're on the rare side. I don't know what the aversion to spam is. There's some people like even Andrew Zimmern. Andrew Zimmern doesn't like spam. He won't eat spam. It's like spam is just maybe it's just the way you like. I'm not going to eat it right out of the can. Although if I was making a ham salad with spam, you could do that. You make it right out of the can. I've had it right out of the can, especially the flavored ones, so I could actually taste what the flavor was and everything. But there's like a nice slice of grilled spam is life changing. You know, like spam musubi is just amazing. It's just, yeah, it is very versatile. Nashies. We've done a lot of spam. We've done a lot of the unusual ones. Like I think one year they did pumpkin spice spam. We tried that. We did the one that came out at Christmas time, which was the figgy pudding spam. We did that. So anytime we saw like an unusual spam, there's some that we haven't even tried yet. There's like a chorizo spam. There's some other ones that we haven't even tried yet that we'll probably have to do at some point in time. But yeah, I will show you. I might have showed you this before. I don't remember. Spam, 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 marvelous spam. But I don't want any spam. I did the Monty Python spam voice, and I got Doodle barking at me. He doesn't like spam either, apparently. Freak, I got that shirt. There is a place that sold T-shirts, like tons of T-shirts on Venice Beach in LA. That's where I got that shirt. But I bet you can get that online. I bet you if you search for that spam shirt online, I'm sure you could find it. Probably even from Hormel. I bet you could even buy that from Hormel. Some people eat it right out of the can because it says it's cooked. It is. My daughter met some kids in college like that. Yeah, it is cooked. So, you know, nothing wrong with that. And like I said, if you're making something like ham salad, and you want to use the spam for the ham salad, no, there's no reason to heat it up or cook and everything. You just put it in the ham salad as is. He did not like that skit. You are correct. Bloody Vikings. Doodle's funny. And I know it was Doodle because Canelo doesn't bark at things like Doodle does. Doodle hates dancing. And I think it's the sound that your feet make on the floor. So he hates dancing. He barks at people who run. So like if people are running, he barks at them. There was a kid the other day, we were in this restaurant, we had Doodle with us, and the kid was like peeking around the corner at Doodle, smiling at Doodle, and then he jumps up in the air and lands on his feet, and then Doodle starts barking at him. The kid's like, "What did I do?" I'm like, "You jumped. That's his trigger. You just set off his trigger." Did you ever go to the Spam Museum in Minnesota? I did not. Now, here's the funny thing, Freak. This was back in the 80s. This company I worked for, I had to travel all over the U.S. and Canada, and one of the things I had to go to the Austin Daily Herald, I think it was, which is the newspaper of Austin, Minnesota, and I had to install some typesetting equipment there at the Austin Daily Herald. Now the thing about Austin. Now the thing about Austin, Minnesota, is that's where Hormel is, and so when you drive into the town, you can smell spam. When you drive it, or all this other stuff that Hormel makes, this meat, you can smell the meats that Hormel cooks when you go into it. But I did not get a chance to go to Hormel and check out. I don't even know if they had the Spam Museum back in the 80s. I know they do now, but I don't even know if they had a Spam Museum. So I did not have a chance to do that. What I did have a chance to do is when I lived in Austin, Texas, being that Austin, Texas is the sister city of Austin, Minnesota. They used to have something, until about 2009, they used to have something called Spamorama, which is a big spam festival. And so they used to have spam games, spam Olympics, spam art, like spam sculptures and stuff like that. And that was a lot of fun. My understanding is they started that back up again. So now in Austin, they do the Spamorama again. But they stopped doing it in 2009. They hadn't done it in a long time. And I think in the late 2020s or something or so. They brought it back. So if I get back out to Austin, Texas, I'll try to arrange that so I'm there for Spamorama. Okay. He hates my purse. He hates these cans. That one's different. Different movie. He hates these cans. And remember that one? He hates these cans. Yeah, this is a thumbs up. Definitely a thumbs up. It were like 5:10 p.m. You guys didn't tell me we went over. We went over. Yeah, definitely a thumbs up. Those are really good. Okay, so we have gone through everything. So it is now time. I got soup on my shirt. It is time once again for goop mélange. This is going to be questionable because we're mixing sausage and coconut candy and stuff. So it's going to be weird. So if you work in the Spam factory and the air conditioning goes out, do you get the meat sweats? Dun-dun-dun. All right, here we go. We have our goop bowl. Like soup bowl, goop. All right, so I'm going to put some noodles in here. I'll cut those up. Man, those have some heat. That was unexpected. Cut those up. That ought to be good. Let's do a few of our anchovy olives. And I think I will cut those up. Let's do 3 of them. Ooh, I get to cut it open to see the anchovy. That's a tiny little guy. How many of you like olives and how many of you don't like olives? I know that, it can be let's see, like Matt Zion from Reckless Eating. He loves olives. Claudia does not like olives. I think Claudia's thing is, she doesn't mind olives if they're cooked and stuff, but she doesn't like olives out of the jar. She doesn't like olives on her salad. I think it's because they're sort of pickled, like brined, and I don't think she likes things that are brined or pickled, because she doesn't like pickles, like cucumber pickles. All right, here's our anchovy olives. Nothing earth-shattering there. I will take this Cabano sausage and let's cut that one up. Yeah, I love olives too. All kinds of olives. Oh, olives! Here's an off-color joke for you. Does anybody know? No, I won't tell that one. That kind of breaks my promise to keep it a family-friendly channel. No, I guess it's double entendre enough that I think it will work. Although some people might think of it as religious, but it's really not. I don't know. Should I tell it? Do it? It's one of the only ones I like in back at the back party. So I got everyone pick. Oh, but you got did you get the pickles from Ryan's Deli in Connecticut? Those amazing kosher dills. I like olive in things. I hate Kalamata olives because they're so healthy. Maybe that's Claudia's thing, is the brine. How many of you are biblical scholars? Does anyone remember what happened when Jesus went to Mount Olive? Popeye beat the crap out of him. That's the joke. Bought a mini bucket of house-made Ryan's pickle. They're just so good. They're so good. So the thing about Ryan's Deli is, I lived in the Boston area for a very, very long time, and so I would make regular trips to New York City because I forgot my finger bowl. I'm gonna make a finger glass. I'm gonna put water in here. That's what I forgot. Oh, so because it's about a 3.5 hour drive from Boston to New York. So I used to make the trip all the time. A very good friend of mine, Wendy, I was making the trip with her. She was from New Jersey originally. And she says, well, let's stop at this place in Vernon, Connecticut, Ryan's Deli. Let's stop there. And from that time on, I always stopped at Ryan Deli going from Boston to New York. It's just an amazing, really, really good deli. I like, is it as good as like Brent's or Katz's or Second Avenue or even Carnegie? Maybe, maybe not. This is the Taro. Maybe, maybe not, but it is really, really, really good. I would get like a meat knish and maybe like a liverwurst sandwich with some mayo and a pickle. Oh. I guess they figure it's my channel, right? I think maybe that's the thing. We should have like a Trippy Food #2 channel, Blue Val. Get the blue shirt. I'll wear the blue shirt. And we'll do Blue Val. Blue Val would be like any of you who have seen the Reckless Eating episode when we did the Reckless Eating main show in Las Vegas, and I was reviewing the secret pizza. That's Blue Val. That would be what Blue Val would be like. If you guys have seen that episode, I will not elaborate on that here, but if any of you guys have seen that episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this is the wine cake or the torta negra. This is where it starts to get weird. Medication time. Medication time. What did I drop? I dropped my fork. I almost dropped me. All right. What am I missing? Oh, the not that great Bailey's Mont Blanc. Bailey's Irish cream candy. Wasn't really that good. Kind of, like I said, kind of waxy texture. Did not really have that Irish cream flavor. But goop mélange does not discriminate. Looks like cheese. What am I missing? Oh, I'm missing I don't know how I'm going to break these up. It's like hard candy. The soup de coco. I think that's it, right? That's it. Yes, that's it. Okay. Let's see if I can. I don't know how I'm gonna. It's like peanut brittle. But it's not that brittle. How am I gonna do this? That's not. It just won't break apart. Well, there we go. There's a little bit. What? No latkes? Yeah, they have latkes. Of course they do. It's an amazing place. It really is. I've not been. As Julie says, it is an awesome place if you're ever in the area. So if you're driving between Boston and New York, and you're going down Route 84, I want to say 84? 84 or 86, I'm not sure which. If you're going down Route 86 or 84 in Connecticut, on your way before you hit Hartford, and you'll see the signs for Vernon, Connecticut, you take that exit for Vernon, Connecticut, and go to Ryan's Deli. Tell them Val sent you, and they'll go, who the hell's Val? All right, these do not break apart very easily. I think I just took someone's eye out, which is hard to do because there's nobody else in the room. It's gonna have to be it. All right, it's gonna have to be because it won't break down any more than that. All righty, so here we go. Goop mélange, everybody. I find the Polish kind more hearty if I have to be honest. You do have to be honest, Jake, because we're all honest here. That's one thing about, I mean, you don't really know when you're watching a live stream or you're watching somebody's YouTube channel. You don't really know how honest they are. But and the thing is, I can say I'm honest, but if I'm not honest, then what use is that? But I will tell you that I am honest, and I I don't like to lie because I always feel like I know that I lied and then it just eats me up. So I generally don't lie. I would say like I very, very seldom, if ever, lie. I think the only times I would say something that you would consider to be a lie is if I'm setting up a surprise party for somebody and it helps that surprise, I might do that, and then afterwards they'll know I wasn't serious or it wasn't the truth. I might do that. Or if I'm doing something that's like kind of like acting, this is not like acting. So this is me being me. Any of you who wondered, like, is your personality on this live stream, is that really Val or is that the character Val? It's like, well, my name is Val. First name is Valentino, and Val is the short part of that. And this is me. So I am what I am, and that's all that I am. So that's it. Learn a lot here, so it's good to listen and hear from others with more experience than myself. Yeah, that's the other thing, Jake, is that if I tell you something, like if I say, oh, this happened here, it's a result of my research, right? But it's not always correct, right? And if you guys find out that something is not exactly the same as what I say it is and everything, you let me know, because I am not gonna. I am willing to admit when I'm wrong. I'm willing to admit when I don't have the correct information and everything. And if you guys do, let me know. So there we go. Can you slice off pieces of candy? It did not work, Janice. Let's see. What am I missing? We're honest to a fault. That is correct. It's humid here today, hoping for a storm to cool off. It stormed here yesterday, had rain yesterday. It looked like it was overcast this morning, but turned out the sun came out, so it was 70 degrees instead of the 70 that they were expecting. Let's see, just a little show, not much. I admit my name isn't legally Nashi's, but the personality is real. Yeah, I figured as much. I mean, I think you have a presentation skill, so I think you may be like slightly more animated than just talking to you normally and everything. But that's just a presentation and everything, and I'm completely convinced, Nashies, that you are who you are. So the only difference between on live Val and IRL in real life Val is in real life he bumps into things or trips over things way more. Well, I drop things here. It's not. The only reason I'm not bumping into things and tripping on things is because I'm not standing up or walking. Otherwise, you guys would see that. So there you go. No, you didn't miss the go. I was just busy talking and we didn't get to it. So I'm about to goop. All right, here we go. I don't know about this. We have that. We have the kimchi ramen. We have the Cabano sausages, the wine cake, the taro chips, the Irish cream candy. Yeah, I don't know about this one. We'll see. The olives, the anchovy olives. It's kind of dirty. It's funny that. It's funny you say that, Nashi. So when I used to be in a band, I would do a gig. I'd come off the stage and somebody would walk up to me and go, "Hey, you guys are really good. What's your name?" I said, "Val." They said, "Val's your name?" I was like, "Well, it's Valentino." And I was like, "Yeah, but what's your real name?" It's Valentino. It's like, "No, but I mean, what's your first name?" I'm like, It's Valentino. That's my name. I'm like, show you my driver's license. My name is Valentino. But everyone thought because I was on stage in a band, it was a fake name or something. But no, it was Valentino. So much going on in here. Something's really sweet. It might be the Baileys. It's the wine cake. It's the wine cake. Ramen loses some heat. Can't taste the end. How crazy does this have to be for you to not taste the anchovies? We need a weird Val cameo. Or like Tiny Val? Now your mom just gave you a cool name. Yeah, it's because I was born near Valentine's Day. So that's how I got the name. And then I remember as a kid hating that name. because, everybody else was named Steve and Bob and Jim and, stuff like that. And I was Valentino. And I asked my mom, I said, why'd you name me Valentino? And she said, because you were born near Valentine's Day. And I was like, Larry was born near 4th of July and his name's not Abe or George. So I hated it when I was a kid, but I learned to like it as I got older. This isn't bad. So the sweetness is a little bit weird in there, but it's not terrible. The heat from the noodles is toned down. The taro chips aren't as crunchy. And the texture of I don't know what happened to the super cocoa. Like maybe it melted or something, because the super cocoa was, break it apart with your teeth and everything. And then it just kind of broke down by itself. You do get a lot of that heat, a little bit of that heat, aftertaste and everything. It's okay. It's not bad. It doesn't suck. It's an odd combination. I don't think I would ever do that, but I'm going to go ahead and give that a thumbs in the middle. Thumbs in the middle. It's not, doesn't suck, but it's not great, and I don't think I would ever do it again. So, I have the same name as my older sibling, just a different variation. Well, I got you beat there, Nashies, because I have two brothers with the same name. I have two brothers named Larry or Lawrence. Two brothers named Lawrence. That's a story for another day. That's a long story for another day. But I do have two brothers named Lawrence or Larry. And to differentiate them, we call one Massachusetts Larry and we call one California Larry. And today is Massachusetts Larry's birthday. So happy birthday, Massachusetts Larry, if you were watching. How are the Colombian World Cup festivities? Well, to be fair, I've only seen like some of it. Claudia is like, she has Colombian blood. So for her, she's into the World Cup. She's watching all the games and everything. But when we went to Bogota last weekend, it was my brother-in-law's birthday, the one who gave me the taro chips. It was his birthday. And at his house, they had a soccer watching party because Colombia was playing. So when Colombia is playing, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So Colombia was playing, and I have I'll show you. Hang on a second. So I wore this. I'm not particularly into the sport or anything, but everybody at the party wore a Colombian soccer jersey. So this is their away jersey. You guys are probably more familiar with their home jersey, which is the yellow one. So when they play the home games, they wear yellow, and when they play away, they wear these blue ones. So I was wearing that, and it was a good game. It was 0-0. It would have been 1-0 with Colombia winning. At that point in thing, there was no wins or no losses or anything like that. So it would have been 1-0, but apparently the goal they got, one of the guys was offside because his toe was over the line, his toe. So, people were a little bit upset about that and everything, but they're still going strong. I am kind of rooting for Colombia this year just because they've never won a World Cup. So it'd be nice. I was rooting for the Cubs back in 2015. I wanted the Cubs to win the World Series, and they did, and the Red Sox back in 2004. So, if there's this underdog team that has never won or has not won in 50 years or something like that, like the Knicks, right? The Knicks, the basketball team, the Knicks. I was rooting for the Knicks to get the championship because they had won it since the 1970s or something like that. So, I'm not into the game. I'm not into sports in general. Most of the time, I don't even know what they're doing. But every once in a while, I like to go to baseball games. I like to go to the baseball games in the stadiums and watch the baseball games live. That's fun. But I'm not really into it. Oh, and I have the other jersey. Hang on. This one. And this one is a requirement. It's a requirement. And by the way, this was a gift from Julie. So thank you so much, Jules, for this gift. For me, I don't really watch the hockey games. I was kind of into the Bruins when I was a kid, just because everybody was. Everybody in our school was. I met Johnny Busick, who was one of the Bruins, because he was at a local drugstore signing postcards. So I did meet Johnny Busick, who was one of the Bruins. I worked for a company that Bobby Orr worked for, which was really weird because I saw this guy come in a suit, and I said to the personnel manager, I said, "Who's that? The new sales guy?" She says, "Yeah." And I says, "What's his name?" She says, "Bob Orr." I'm like, "Bob Orr, like the hockey player Bob Orr?" And she goes, "It is the hockey player Bob Orr." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're kidding." And she says, "No, he's like a regional sales guy, and he goes on calls just because he's Bobby Orr, and he's going to sell stuff." So she says, "He wants to meet everybody, so go up to his office." So like I went to his office, I got an autograph and everything from Bobby Orr and stuff like that. But to me, the Bruins are a big deal because A, I'm from Boston, and B, because Bill Bruford, I don't know if you guys know Bill Bruford? Bill Bruford, the drummer. He played with Genesis, he played with Yes, he played with King Crimson, he played with UK. Amazing drummer, Bill Bruford. And Bill Bruford wears a Boston Bruins shirt all the time. And he wears a Boston Bruins shirt because his name is Bill Bruford, BB. And so, that has his initials on it. So yeah, that's the extent of my sports stuff. It's like I have a Colombian jersey that I just got specifically to wear to the Colombian game party. I have a Boston Bruins jersey that Julie gave me. That means a lot to me because Julie gave it to me, because I'm from Boston, and because of Bill Bruford. And so, so there we are. Welcome to Val's new try-on channel, Trippy shirts. I got a good one for you, and I will wear that one of these days. It looks like the Adidas logo, but it says Arepas. So that's fun, and I'm going to wear that at some point in time. I love show and tell, not being sarcastic. It's fun. Yeah, like I said, I'm not into sports or anything, but I do have the shirt. So that's the extent of my sporting stuff. You need a yellow Colombian shirt to match. I wanted a yellow Colombian shirt. I thought it would like more my color, right? But Claudia got me the blue one, and so I wore the blue one. There we go. You actually have a Trippy. Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, Janice has a Trippy Food shirt as well. We all have Vegas night stuff because they're so good to the community here. Yeah. Were they a new team or did they come from somewhere else? Nashies. They're a hockey team. They're, I believe, hockey team, the Vegas Knights. Where did they come from somewhere else, Nashies, or are they always in Vegas? It was a cool find on Whatnot. The shirt, the Bruin shirt. Yeah. Well, either way, I love it. So thank you. Got to get one while I'm down there. I don't know if they have them all the time. So if you want one, we'll get one for you. So just, let us know. And wait, you want one of the yellow ones or you want one of the blue ones, Jules? Because I don't know when the World Cup ends. And when the World Cup ends, you might not be able to get one, but I'll talk to Claudia and we'll see. But if you want one, let us know. Do you want a blue one or you want a yellow one? Which one do you want? Best Trippy shirt was the red and black one from the Jeff Fu days. Oh, the dragon one. Yeah. Those just fell apart. That one was like 20 years old. Some of the dragon shirts I have in storage, and I have to get those at some point in time. So I do have some of the dragon shirts. I think that red one, I might actually have that. I might still have that dragon shirt. So I'll have to check. I'll have to look in storage. Doesn't matter to me. Just need a Colombian jersey. Well, we can set you up, Jules. It's not like we can get you one from the baseball team because they don't have a baseball team. All right. We went 30 minutes over, and I thank you guys for sticking around. We don't have as many as we did at the beginning, but that's okay. We had some people stick around, and we're here to talk, right? So we talk about food, we talk about travel. Sometimes we talk about other stuff, like Val shirts. But either way, I love spending time with you guys and sharing stuff with you guys. I learned from you. Hopefully you learn from me. So you have some fun. That's what it's all about. It's about having fun. It's like people say like, oh, do you make a lot of money from YouTube? I'm like, dude, I make $400 a year, and I spend like thousands to do the show on stuff like this. So like why do I do it? I do it because I love it. I love doing it. Love talking to you guys. This is like the high point of my week. So, and we went 2 weeks went 2 weeks without talking to you guys. So really, really, really good to be back and be able to spend some time with you. So I thank you so much. Now, again, I'm always going to remind you, we said at the beginning that Janice is close to 8,000 subscribers. Tom reached, I think it's 2,000, reached 2,000 subscribers. Nashi's just had an episode that got 1,000 views and everything. And so a lot of these channels are really good, and we recommend them to you. And if you like them, and then we know that you will, be sure to subscribe to those channels. Be sure to like the videos. Press click on the thumb, and be sure to subscribe and leave comments. So do that, and we can show our appreciation for the other channels as well. Also, if you watch Trippy Food and you like Trippy Food and you have not subscribed to Trippy Food, please do so, because it helps us out, in the long run. It's not a big deal, but we really appreciate it. So we thank you so much. Again, this is the high point of the week, and I'm glad I was able to spend some time with you guys, and I hope to spend more time with you again really, really soon. But remember that it's crazy out there, so please be careful. Take care of yourself, take care of others, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.